What is up, everybody? Welcome to episode 138 of today's News Tonight. I don't know why I want it to be 139, but you know what rhymes with 8? Nate, the Hate, our guest for this episode. I'm so glad to have you on, man. Your first time on GVG. Welcome.
Oh, thank you for having me. Look forward to having a fun discussion with you three about the Nintendo Direct, and that is a nice coincidence that my name does rhyme with the episode number.
Indeed. In addition, of course, to our good friend Nate, I'm joined as always by my good friends and GVG co-founders Ash Paulson and Derek Bittner. And as Nate implied, we're going to be talking just this whole episode about the Nintendo Direct. Unfortunately, I had to miss it yesterday because life is terrible sometimes. But I'm glad I'm here. I have a lot of thoughts. But before we get to those thoughts, this episode is sponsored by our good friend Straightlace and his game, The Soul Device, and The Soul Device 2, which is currently in early access on Steam. The Soul Device is a puzzle platformer where the player can create temporary platforms at the cost of HP to navigate the environment. Its sequel, The Soul Device 2, is also currently in early access, and both are available now on Steam for free. Additionally, the developer Straightlace is currently running his D&D campaign, Generations of Astria, which follows the story of a group of adventurers and their community over the course of several generations as they encounter and deal with threats to the peace of the land, and also try to figure out the secrets of the magical mac and cheese, among other things. You can follow along with the story on Straightlace's YouTube channel, Just Another Group of Friends. We'll have links to those in the chat here, as well as in the description down below. Thank you so much to Straightlace for sponsoring this episode. Go pick up the Soul Device 1 and 2 on Steam. They're free. Doesn't cost you anything.
And I'm going to get those links up in the chat right now and pin those as usual, so please go check them out. Also, I would posit that all mac and cheese is magical. I'm just saying. That's just kind of how I feel about it.
I've had some bad ones, but
fair enough.
I'm not a big fan
you can screw up mac and cheese.
Right.
It's possible. It's been done.
Nate, I also want to thank you, man. We were talking briefly about this before we went live, but thank you for staying off camera just to make the rest of us look better. We know that you're obviously a very dashing, a dashing person, and we appreciate you, kind of letting us glow by staying off camera, man. Thank you.
I mean, it's the least I can do. You three are actually some of the very few individuals who have seen my face. So
right,
that is true. It is a little known fact within the games industry that Nate is the president of the East Coast chapter of the Handsome Boys.
That's right.
I haven't paid my dues in a while. I'm sorry about that.
I'm going to have to consult John Cartwright, and we're going to have to send you a bill.
Oh, geez.
Yeah,
it's hard to get on John's level.
Right. I want John's social media savvy. I just want to just sit down with him and be like, John, how are you? You are so good at Twitter. Show me your ways. Like, I'm pretty good at Twitter, but he's just God level, man. He is God tier Twitter.
I've given up. I just do my own thing. It's like, hey, here's my kid on occasion. Hey, here's a stream coming up. Hey, here's this random thought I had. Okay.
Yeah.
I just post nonsense.
Yeah. By the way, I did just post Straightlace's links in the chat, everybody. So go check them out. And thank you as always, Straightlace.
Thank you. All right. So before we hop right into the Direct, we do have a few super chats, which I'm going to try to just get through because I want to talk about what Nintendo's been up to. First up, as far as I can see, we have $4.99 from Hendrix Trog. With a super chat that says, "Thank you, Ash, for helping me with the Patreon and Discord link. Happy Friday to all y'all."
Well,
happy Friday.
You're very welcome.
Yeah,
and thank
happy
you
Friday.
for supporting us, and happy Friday. Thank you for supporting us and being in our community. It was my pleasure. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Calamity513 follows that up with a $2 super chat that says, "Sir Daniel from Medieval versus Spinal from Killer Instinct." And I'll just shoot this one out real quick. Spinal. He kills people.
Spinal.
Yeah.
Spinal. As the announcer would say.
Spinal.
Spinal.
Nintendo Derek with a $5 super chat. Not our own Derek, although he is quite Nintendo-like in his taste. But he says, "I'm loving all of Aspire's Star Wars Switch ports and glad to see them continue while they work on the Knights of the Old Republic remake. I hope a Force Unleashed port is next." Which I was excited. We'll talk more about this in a bit, but seeing Knights of the Old Republic on Switch in the Direct got me pretty hyped just because I'm a fan of the old version. So I'm down to play that.
Quick aside, I'm
yeah.
really glad I learned that it's Aspire through, all of our chats here, because straight up, I used to say Aspire for whatever reason. It just didn't click with me
Really?
that it's obviously Aspire. I just said Aspire. It's clearly Aspire. So,
A spear.
Aspire. Yeah.
All right. Mike F with a $1.99 super chat says, Nate, think the Nintendo ninjas have a file on you? I'm going to say they probably do.
Yeah, probably. They're probably tracking a lot of my movements, and
We can hope. Why else do you think he has to stay off screen? There's two
Exactly.
reasons for this.
exactly, I
Yeah,
have to keep my identity a secret. So if they ever see me in public, they can't just swoop down and take me out. And sometimes at night when I'm recording a podcast, I do hear a whisper in the trees, and I go close my windows and take guard because they are watching. I'm fearful.
Takamaru's stationed outside Nate's house right now.
Well, that just give me a thought. I was like, why don't we call them Nintendo Ninjas instead of ninjas? It makes way more sense.
That's actually true. It should be Nintendo Ninjas. Yeah.
That's a good point. But I'd be much more afraid of Nintendo sending an actual ninja to my house. If they sent a ninja, I'd be like, aren't you cute?
I didn't realize those were pajamas.
I'd trap it and sell it on eBay. Be like, someone's going to pay top dollar for this thing. I'm going to turn all of our knowledge of the known universe on its head thanks to
Oh God!
Nintendo
Just
info.
By the way,
real quick story.
Okay.
Just as far as top dollar. Amy posted this to her Twitter. My partner. So we got the Pokemon Oreo, and she grabbed. I got it for her as a nice little treat, and she picked out the first Oreo and looked at it. I was like, "Oh, that's cute," and ate it. And then only then did I find out, because I wasn't around at the time, it was the Mew Oreo. Which we later found out that, of course, that's the rarest one. So she just thought they were all legendaries. Like, oh, I got Mew. That's cool. Ate it. And looked online. We saw this as we were looking through the others. And found out that people have been selling that Mew Oreo for up to $5,000 on eBay. Like, somebody started the bid at $1,000 and ended up at $5,000. We're like, well, you just had a $5,000 cookie. Enjoy.
That sucks. Oh, that sucks.
I mean, that sucks more on a societal level than.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, true, but look, I'll get it where I'll take that $5,000 cookie and sell it for that if I can. I mean, that's unfortunate. But by the way, Steve, I think you might have missed our first two super chats, possibly. A Nerd's Ramblings and Bongo Lover.
Yeah, they're not on screen for me any longer. That's interesting.
Okay. You want
Sorry
me to
about
grab
that.
it?
If you please read them out, yeah.
You got it. So we got $5 from a Nerd's Rambling saying, hey guys, just leaving this before I go into introvert mode. Found Banjo-Kazooie for $30 today and the Mario plus Rabbids vinyl, even if I don't own a player. Well, that's awesome. Good gets, Nerd's Ramblings.
Yeah.
And get yourself a vinyl player. It's so cool having video game music on vinyl, speaking of somebody who has a bunch of it. So yeah, get a vinyl player. It's awesome, man. And thank you. And then we have $5 Canadian from Bongo Lovers saying, hey, Nate, we all know you like weenas, but do you drink Danimals? If so, what flavor? Steve, there's a free spot for a Minion actor in the Mario movie. And there's an inside joke here, by the way, that's not is on the face of it, it's not as inappropriate.
I got a dual one, so
yeah. Any answer on that, Nate? On what Danimals or what Danimals flavor you would drink if you did?
I've never had Danimals, so I'm not sure what flavors there actually are of Danimals.
It's for the best. It's for the best.
What is a Danimal?
It's yogurt.
It's like a drinkable yogurt.
Kids yogurt.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's like Go-Gurt.
It's like
yeah.
Okay.
One of these days, I'm gonna set a super chat goal to just crush a case of Danimals while we do the show. We'll see.
God.
There you go. All right, let's keep it moving because
exactly.
There's a lot to talk about. And there's a lot of
direct to
super
talk
chats
about,
coming,
folks. So Jaden Buck, $10. Crazy question Fridays. Crazy question number 9. There was a 10 by accident, so I had to repost it. So about that Mario movie cast, who do you think would play Yoshi? I'm going to tell you what, Jaden. I would love to answer your question right now, but we're literally going to talk about that in a little bit. So stay tuned. Sure. I will specifically make sure we talk about Yoshi because obviously that's part of the direct. But thank you for the question, and we appreciate the super chat. Screamo Shaman, one of our frequent super chatters, $4.99 super chat says, even without a Klonoa announcement, I'm stoked for Kirby and Bayo 3.
Hell yeah.
But now I have Bayo 1 and 2 on my list. Anyway, blue or pink hair dye this weekend. Wow, if we get to make a decision like that. I see blue all the time, so I'm going to say pink.
Same.
Yeah, pink.
I'll go pink. Blue is the expected answer for me, and I like pink as well. So let's go pink.
Mr. L with a £2 super chat. Hashtag no to 50 hertz. And ironically, that is a video that still exists on this channel from when John was running the channel. So yeah, we agree. Canonically, GVG agrees with you.
We can talk about that during the thing as well, during the direct as well.
Yeah. The Chainsaw Experience. I think that's a new one. I haven't seen that one with an Australian $5 super chat. Says, I'm so excited about playing N64 games on the Switch. Thanks, GVG, for all the awesome content you put out. Well, so are we. And thank you for watching with us.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
K9 Biscuits. Who's in the A-list cast roster for GVG the movie? I don't know.
I mean, I
want to be played by Nate. I've seen
Fair
Nate,
enough,
and he could be a much more handsome version of me for a movie.
All right, then I get to be played by John. If we're going with then if we're going with
and Derek can be played by She Says.
There we go. I like it. Derek with Derek.
There we go. All right, moving on, getting the last few of these out of the way. Of course, my chat scrolled right when I said that. Jesse M, also known as Kitty Kong Facts, with a Canadian $5 super chat, says, I can't stay, just wanted to say you're welcome for my part in manifesting Banjo on Switch. Ash knows what I'm referring to.
There's a tweet that happened yesterday where basically Jesse will play something. It'll eventually, like right after he plays it, a port to Switch will be announced of it for it. So I requested, hey, play Mega Man Legends 2 next, and maybe we'll get a port and Mega Man Legends 3. He seems to have some magic voodoo stuff going on.
Nice. All right. Mike F with a $1.99 super chat says Nate will be played by Hulk Hogan, which...
Ooh.
All right.
Okay.
That's a new one.
That's a choice.
That'd be a really bad cast, considering I'm not bald and I'm not a blonde. But I guess that's an interesting choice.
Yeah, there you go.
It just sort of tells you what you look like in their mind.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not sure if that's a compliment, though.
As long as it's 80s Hulk Hogan, it's not too bad.
True. All right, let's close this out with these last few. Neo with a $4.99 super chat. Nate the Hate Hype. I told the haters not to doubt my boy. Still waiting on Prime Trilogy, though. Chibi J with a $5 super chat says, woo, a show I can catch live. Also, who do you has the bigger despise of a character, Steve and Minions or John and Kitty Kong? I don't think John's ever advocated for the death of Kitty Kong. So I'm
definitely Steve and
Minions. Take that one. Sketcha MPM with $4.99 super chat says, hi, Nate, big fan. Wondering what everyone's dream N64 game would be for Switch. Mine is Bomberman 64. The soundtrack multiplayer, it still holds up. Just like with our last one, we'll cover this when we talk about it during the show. I really want to get to the news. In fact, I'm going to cut super chats here for a little while so we can start talking about the direct, because that's all we're here to discuss. So let's go ahead and get started with this. The direct opened up, and I want to frame this with how Nintendo framed the direct for us, because I find this to be just humorous. Nintendo was like, hey, we're doing a 40-minute direct on Switch games that are coming in the winter. And they started with DLC for Monster Hunter, which won't arrive.
I didn't even think about that.
Until the summer of 2022.
I did not think about that at all.
Not only winter, but literally the exact opposite of it.
Right.
But
they just wanted to make Brandon happy.
Yeah, I know, right? For more clarification, Monster Hunter is getting a DLC dubbed Daybreak, I believe.
Sunbreak.
I apologize. Sunbreak. And it was just a short cinematic trailer, showed like a dragon, showed some kind of dark environments, didn't really have the whole like ancient Japanese vibe that the rest of Monster Hunter Rise has to it. I've played, thanks to our sponsor for this episode, Straight Lace, I've played Monster Hunter Rise once a month, every month with him for a while now, and I'm starting to get into it. Like, I enjoy the act of playing it with him, and I'm going to be getting Rush this weekend, so I'm excited for that.
Ooh, nice.
Straight Lace helped me unlock Amaterasu last month, so
nice.
But I'm definitely not at the level of player that this DLC is for me yet, but I imagine Straight Lace and folks like him, Brandon, are very excited for this, because this is like end game content, if I remember correctly.
Probably.
I hope this means he's also going to help you unlock Rush, because that's also equally.
I mean, he just said that,
obviously.
So.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
I only heard Amaterasu. Okay.
Yeah, he helped me last month with Amy, and he's going to help me, I think, tomorrow with
nice.
Rush. So yeah.
Nice.
But Nate, I wanna get your take on this. This wasn't super exciting for me because as much as I'm like a budding Monster Hunter fan, thanks to my Fight Founder sessions, I'm still very much at the lowest rung of the ladder on that. Are you a big Monster Hunter guy at all?
I'm not a big Monster Hunter fan. I did play Rise. I played it for a couple of months, but I've fallen off the game considerably since then. And this announcement, while cool for fans of the franchise, it really didn't resonate with me all that much. It seems like the content is going to be interesting for those who have an interest in it, but it really didn't make any waves for me. It kind of feels like it may be too little too late for me to really reinvest myself in the Monster Hunter Rise world. So as far as an opening goes, that really didn't set the tone for the direct all that high for me.
I could see that, but I'm also seeing Monster Hunter fans did really enjoy this, especially because it's apparently what it seems to be. Because we just got 3 big clarifications here from Brandon Bovia says, yeah, it's basically endgame. It will probably double the content of the base game, like Iceborne, and Diono basically chipped in and said it's the entire second half of the game. So apparently only half the game was released. I didn't realize it was something like that, but to just double the content is pretty significant. I wonder how much they'll charge.
Yeah.
See, this actually, yeah. Even though I'm not a Monster Hunter fan myself, this actually did set the tone of the direct for me in a positive way because I figured out almost immediately that we weren't opening with Smash. And I was like, okay, I can breathe. We're not there yet. We're not there. And I had a feeling, and we'll get to this later, but I had a feeling, even going into the direct, that because it was the last character, that they weren't just going to open with a Smash character and then drop it and that's it, and then say, Sakurai presents on this date. Like, they actually are saving it for its own thing, and I'm relieved to have been right about that. And I was just like, okay, we're good. We're not starting with Smash.
Your fear of Smash ending is just
it's something I love. It's something I love. I'm dealing with the loss of something I love, and even my wife has told me, you know what?
I disagree.
It's something has been really important to you for your life for 8 years. It's okay. There's no shame in
but
being
now
sad
you can
about
play
it.
all of it.
Yeah, see,
but I just want more new stuff.
I see it as being complete rather than being over, because it's not like you're going to stop playing, and it's not like the community is going to be like, well, last character's here, fuck this, and just leave.
Of course not. No.
I'm done. I'm walking away. I don't need to play this game anymore.
I'm honestly,
of course not.
And we'll talk about this more when we get to that part of the direct, but I'm honestly actually really excited that Smash is ending. And I don't mean that in like a negative way. I mean it because, well, we'll talk more about it. So yeah, Monster Hunter came up. The next thing Nintendo showed was Mario Party. And I gotta say, this segment did nothing for me. Like, I'm excited for Mario Party, but Mario Party is not a game that I watch a trailer and I'm like, yes, Mario Party. Like, I just don't. I don't get hyped for Mario Party. My favorite thing about Mario Party is actually not the game itself. It is the experiences I have with friends playing the game, if that makes sense. Like the memories I make playing Mario Party.
Makes complete sense. And to accommodate that, they did seem to pick some good boards.
They did.
We got 5 good boards. They got this survival mode, which I like. The extra modes seem worth a damn, unlike Super Mario Party.
Right. I think Rob Arman X hits on it here, saying I'm hyped for Mario Party not being bad anymore. I think that's the excitement here. We're seeing Mario Party superstars, and yeah, I agree with you, Steve. While I don't typically go, yeah, Mario Party in a direct, this is the first time we've gotten to be excited about Mario Party in years. It's actually going back to what worked for the series, taking what we think is the best, hopefully is the best, from prior Mario Parties, and not trying to innovate for innovation's sake anymore. Just taking Mario Party back to what made it great in the first place. And that's why I'm excited to see it, or was excited to see it specifically in this direct. But in general, I agree with you. Mario Party isn't like, oh my God, hype, usually.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Nate, are you a Mario Party guy, or is that a series that is kind of passed you by?
It's kind of a series I want to say I've outgrown. Unlike, the three of you, I'm not married. I don't have children. So Mario Party would really be mostly an online experience with friends, and just trying to organize an online session of Mario Party would be really complex because a lot of my friends are married. They have children. So we're not going to have that time to just sit down, or even go over to each other's house, have a few drinks, and play Mario Party like we would have when we were teenagers or even in our early college days. So Mario Party is unfortunately just one of those franchises that I've outgrown.
Yeah,
I can see that.
But it does
I
look
can
fun.
understand that.
I mean, it looks fun. I like the boards that they displayed. And if I were younger, if I was a kid, I would be very excited about this release.
Yeah, I tend to generally agree with that. I feel like Mario Party, I fell off it for a really long time, but now that my kids are like 8 and 6, you know, and they can play games without me having to like handhold them through everything, I find myself playing a lot more of these casual like multiplayer games. You know, like WarioWare and Super Monkey Ball are currently really big things in my house on weekends, because me and the kids will, you know, flop on the couch and everybody will grab a single Joy-Con just like in the commercials and we'll play these games. And so it's a lot of fun for me. But I'm definitely, even so, you know, I don't look at this as like, I'm not looking forward to this for my own sake. I'm thinking more like, oh, this will be really fun to play with my family. But yeah, I agree that were I in a position where maybe my kids were a bit younger, like, you know, a couple years back, this wouldn't be a game that would even be on my radar. But now that my kids are, you know, have their own Switches and want to play stuff constantly, I'm like, well, I guess I got to go down and pre-order this one. So I'll be playing it, but yeah, it won't be like super hype or anything for me.
The online set, the fact that it's online is the big thing. We got classic boards, we got classic mini games, and we got online. That's good. And I'm hoping that Superstars gets the same post-launch support that we saw for Mario Tennis and Mario Golf, because I hope it's not too difficult for them to add, okay, here's 2 more classic boards, here's 20 more mini games, and rotate that in with new content, or even here's another character. And there's a way to just keep this alive and keep people really interested in it. Even if they charge for it, I think people would still be excited just because they have that new content, continue it on, and having that online mode. I know a lot of streamers are probably going to take advantage of this online mode and play together. It's good for that.
I was about to say, I think it'll be a really good streaming game, just because you know, the thing that's held me back from really enjoying Mario Party as an adult has been getting other adults to my house and like actually playing multiplayer, especially the last 2 years, right? And I'll be, you know, I'll be playing this with you guys for sure, just to, you know, give it a shot, try it out. Plus, you know, there will be some fun, salty moments thrown around.
That is the one thing, though, Derek, that you touched on, is 5 boards does feel a little slim just for a collection like this. And so, and Super Mario Party had the same problem, while also just not being a very good game on top of it. Whereas this, at least we know what we're getting here. We're getting some of our favorite boards from Mario Party's past. So 5 games or 5 boards does seem a little slim, and that's why I'm hoping for, agreed. I hope there's like a DLC roadmap. 2
things, as Rob Barman X points out, 5 is only 1 less than some of the N64 games. And I kind of forgot about that. There's typically not a whole lot of boards in the N64 ones. And as far as Super Mario Party goes, I think it's a generally good game. It felt like a step in the right direction. I don't think it was bad.
After 10 and 9,
but,
it did,
it was definitely it felt like a course correction that was needed. And that's what is like, okay, next Mario Party could really make this something special. And by using the old boards, that helps one of the biggest issues with Super Mario Party, because those mini games are pretty fun in Super Mario Party.
Right.
I don't know. So
I'll go ahead.
I was just saying, it's like it feels like it's nice to see that culmination, and like, okay, if this does as well as Super Mario Party, we're golden. Let's do it.
Right.
Yeah, I'm hopeful that it'll do well. But the next game that Nintendo showed was probably one of the bigger surprises for me in this direct, just because of how offbeat and particularly who's making a game that looks like this. We're talking about Square Enix's Voice of the Cards, which I did not expect. One, I didn't expect like a card tabletop-ish role-playing game from Square, and I also didn't expect it to look awesome. It looks really good.
I'm so mad I haven't got the chance to try I'm not mad, but I'm just like, I wanted to try the demo out before we did this. So
same.
We actually knew before this that Yoko Taro was working on a card-based RPG for Square Enix. I think the real surprise here is that it was as far into development as it is, and it's coming out in October 28th to be exact. I don't think anyone expected it maybe until next year.
Great.
I am sad to say, though,
compete with Mario Party.
I know, right? Well, it's not for me. That's the thing.
The same audience, exact same audience for both these games.
Yeah, right. This just
Like,
does nothing for me.
Nate's like, no, screw this card
games.
game. I'm playing Mario Party, even though it's like I'm outgrown it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure it'll be great. It's just not my thing. I love Yoko Taro. I love that the music sounded very Nier-esque, but I look at what they showed, it's just I bounce right off it. I'm like,
really?
Hope you guys enjoy it does nothing for me, but I like the aesthetics, like I said, I like the music, but I just have never really been into card-based.
I mean, that's what I find interesting, because neither am I. I have zero desire to play tabletop card-based games like this. This is not something that I would set up, but I don't know, just the visual style and the unique presentation for a video game makes me want to try it. I'm with Derek that the minute I saw it, if I had such a day yesterday that I didn't watch the direct until almost 9 p.m. And when I did, I was just too tired to even want to like grab my Switch and download the demo. I was like, I'll do it tomorrow before the show. And then today happened and I didn't do it. So, but this is on my list for this weekend. I absolutely want to play this, along with, like Halo Infinite's a thing this weekend. So I guess I'll play that too. But, Nate, I'm curious. I know so far the Nintendo Direct has been a bit underwhelming for you as to what we've discussed. Did this game manage to perk you up a bit, or was this another one that you're keen to leave on the back burner?
I like the art style that was displayed. I like the trailer music, but card-based RPGs or just card-based games have never resonated with me. I have tried games like Lost Kingdom, Baten Kaitos. The only card-based RPG I've actually enjoyed was the SteamWorld Dig RPG that utilized cards. But beyond that game, they have never clicked with me. So unfortunately, this is another game that looks cool, but it just did nothing for me at the end of the day.
That's totally fair. I think it's cool to see how we're split on this specific title. With me and Derek wanting to play it. And
that's funny because I'm not usually into card games as well. It's just not usually bounce off these types of games, but there's something about it. It's like, it's just intriguing enough with that art style. I want to see what it has to offer.
I mean, hell, even Kingdom Hearts of all series, and you guys know how much I adore Kingdom Hearts. I live and breathe it. Even Kingdom Hearts couldn't get me into a card-based battle system with Chain of Memories. It's like my least favorite game in the series. I don't like it at all. But stop me if you've heard this before. I do love Mega Man Battle Network, and that's technically card-based. So Mega Man did it.
Yeah, it's true.
It's like action card-based. I think what it is there's enough of an arcadey action aspect to the battle system where it isn't just playing cards. It's playing cards, at the right reaction time, and I think that's what it is.
No, I will agree that I've played some card-based games, and in fact, some of the early Dragon Ball games for the Famicom were card-based RPGs, and I cut my teeth on those, and I enjoyed those. But Mega Man Battle Network is kind of a whole different animal. Before we move on, I'm going to tell you the next thing in the Direct. Didn't do a whole lot for me, but I'm still going to keep an open mind about it. But before we get there, I am going to knock out a few of these super chats because I don't want you to think we're going to ignore you the whole episode. Klaxon with a $9.99 super chat said, linked Patreon to Discord, became a patron a few hours ago. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's incredible. Thank you for the support. About how long to wait. And I finished my first review ever. I put you in the description. Hope that's okay. More than okay. If we inspired you to create something, I would
totally
tell you do one better and shoot us a DM and let us know. We'd love to see it. Hit me up on Discord. I'm Steve Pound0578 on Discord. You can shoot me a DM and I will help you sort out your Patreon issue. But thank you so much for joining. It means the world to us.
You're about to get a lot of friend requests.
I've already got a lot of friend requests. I thought I was friends with Nate before the episode because he and I have talked on Discord for years, and I just now realized we weren't.
I thought we were too. Yeah.
I think it's just like we DM each other, and that always worked.
Yeah.
We
don't need to be friends
it's
with
like
DM.
texting each other on a phone. We just never saved each other's phone numbers.
Exactly.
And by the way, Klaxon, if for whatever reason you're not, in a place where you can write that down, you can also just send us a message on Discord and we'll on Patreon. On Patreon, and we'll get back to you there as well.
Exactly.
So don't worry. Yeah.
The three of us are always looking at Patreon messages. So if you send us a message, we'll get you sorted out. But normally it should be like instantaneous. So, but we also have seen where it doesn't work. Anyway, Dan L with a $2.99 super chat says, good vibes gaming, more like good looks gaming. You must be talking about Nate.
Oh my!
I know you
Yeah.
are. Somebody who
thank
clearly has been to the Handsome Boys Club before. Thank you. That is very
Thank
nice.
you very much.
Itiono Ben with a $2 super chat just says, just wrapped up my Friday workout. Good vibes. Well,
Good job.
Maybe next Friday I'll do a Friday workout.
One of these Fridays.
One of these
Yeah.
Fridays
Well, I don't know
I'll do
about
it.
you guys. I just wrapped up my Friday workout too because I am in perfect shape. Obviously,
I'm perfectly round.
nice.
I made dinner.
There you go. Bongo Lover with a Canadian $2 super chat says Bayo 3 got revealed before the chicken review with a crying emoji. I'm not gonna lie, I just took Brandon to task for this in our Discord like an hour ago. So just so you know, it's very important to me, and I will talk more in the post show about that since I know you're a patron and I'd like to give an update. But there is an update on that. Hus Mohammed with an Australian $20 super chat says, hey guys, been a fan since the Smash discussions. Appreciate the work y'all do. Despite the flack the Avengers game gets, it handled the Muslim lead very well. Do you know any other games with positive Muslim representations? Wow, that is, I mean, I do think that the lead was handled extremely well. Ash and I have both said she's pretty much the only good part of the game in our opinion.
Yeah.
But I hate to say it, I can't think of anything off the top of my head, and pretending I would never pretend to know. So I'm just
I have one character I could put forth maybe, but I want to like preface that by saying, as a white guy, it's not up to me to say whether it is positive or not. But I've heard that Rashid from Street Fighter V is a popular character, and I haven't heard negative
enjoy
things
playing
about
him.
how he's portrayed. So again, I can't make that distinction.
He has
I'm
a
not
scouter. How
qualified
can you
to.
not love him?
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
true.
I think he's cool, but in terms of whether he's portrayed positively as a Muslim, I don't know. But I think he's a cool character.
True. I agree with that. Rashid is cool as hell.
I forgot that Altair from the original Assassin's Creed Muslim.
Yes, that's true.
So that's cool.
Yeah.
There's a Shaheen in Tekken 7. I don't know. I'm literally looking up to try to find a list because I don't know many of it. It's just sad. But yeah, we got a Shaheen for Tekken 7. Rashid, as we mentioned.
Here's what I would recommend. I would recommend, honestly, like instead of asking us, because we're clearly not experts, seeking out a Muslim content creator.
What the heck? Shut up. Sorry.
I was like, somebody's on the phone. All right, moving on, because I do want to continue our breakdown of the direct. Style Boys with a Canadian $5 super chat says, Nate the Hate, been watching your podcast with MVG and in Spawncast. Enjoy the content. Question to ask, when is Silent Hill coming? Man,
Not
putting him on the
soon
spot.
enough.
When Konami feels ready to announce Blooper Team's involvement with the Silent Hill project. I mean, Konami just announced the Castlevania Advance collection, so they are at least making some waves in terms of game announcements. Silent Hill is just a matter of when, not if. But with COVID and everything that went on in the industry over the last year and a half, we don't know how much that project could have been delayed. But with Tokyo Game Show coming up, let's be hopeful that maybe the game makes an appearance then.
That'd be cool.
I would love that. I want Silent Hill so badly. So badly.
Let's see. Following that up, Mwape Mulenga with a $5 super chat says, so I have a question. Who has the hotter redesign, Samus or Bayonetta?
Has Samus gotten a redesign? Are we talking about her Dread
I think
suit?
he's talking about her Dread suit, yeah.
I'm gonna go Samus because I don't like the idea of thinking of Bayonetta as hot in that outfit because it just reminds me too much of her kid version
That's the
in
thing.
Bayonetta 1. It's like,
Oh.
no.
I was reading about how that might actually be. Sorry, yeah.
I will reframe this as who had the better glow up because I'm not going to talk about video game characters as hot, and I will actually say Bayonetta. And the reason why is just I think she looks so like not cool in part 2, and I think she looks actually kind of cool in Bayonetta 3.
Part 2 is my favorite.
I'm not a big
design.
fan
You
of
know
the
what?
pixie cut design.
I don't like the beehive cut, so that pixie cut was a major improvement in my opinion.
I actually agree with you on this, Steve. I as much as I like the Dread suit, and I do, I think Bayonetta got the better glow up. I've never been the biggest fan of Bayonetta's design. I liked her a little more in 2 than 1, but in my opinion, 3 is the coolest she has ever looked. At least as a casual fan. I'm not like a hardcore Bayonetta fan, but for me, I like her Bayonetta 3 design by far the most, even though I know that may not be the same character, possibly, I don't know. But yeah, that's my answer.
All right, cool. All right, let's go ahead and get back to talking about the Direct. We'll continue to address super chats kind of here and there throughout the show. Anyway, so the next game that Nintendo brought up was Disco Elysium, and I've heard so much good stuff about this game, but I just haven't picked it up and played it. So this didn't do a lot for me because I was like, oh, like I always imagined this game was going to come to Switch once I saw it. When I saw the visual style, I was like, there's really nothing that would prevent this game from being on Switch, and I'm sure it's a matter of time. And as it got more and more critical praise heaped on it, I was like, yeah, it's going to happen eventually. But I've not played this. I know very little about it. I can say that we will be getting review code for it because they literally just reached out to me an hour before the show and asked if we wanted codes for it. And so I was like, sure, I'll check it out. So we'll be playing it and I'll have a better opinion later. But for now, I saw it in the Direct and I was like, that makes sense. But there really wasn't a whole lot for me. How did you guys feel about seeing this game show up?
Same. It doesn't do anything for me personally. I completely respect how fantastic it apparently is. I've heard nothing but wonderful things, but like I was rewatching it with my wife last night, and she was just like, I keep hearing about this game, but this doesn't look like my thing, and it doesn't look like mine either. I just think it's just maybe I'm not compatible with it.
It feels like it's one of those things that's better to play than to look at, because there's all the options and sort of getting yourself into that character, especially with the detective aspect to it. I think that's where it gets intriguing, is that you're investigating it and doing more. It's just, it feels like one of those games that's difficult to showcase. But yeah. What do you think, Nate? I'm curious. Have you played this?
Yes, I actually played it on PC when it came out a couple of years ago, and it is a really good game. The narrative is strong, but unfortunately, the announcement coming to Switch, it didn't do anything for me because I had already played it, and it's not really a game I feel like I need to revisit, at least not yet. So if you haven't played it, I highly recommend it. It is a very impressive indie title.
Nice. Yeah, I
we are 0 for 4 for you.
Ton to say about it. I'm curious though if we're gonna go 0 for 5. I can tell you that this next announcement did nothing for me, and I say this as somebody who owns the expansion pass, so I'm going to get it regardless. But Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity's November DLC got kind of detailed.
I have not picked up the expansion pass, and it looks intriguing, but I just don't see myself going back to it. I really enjoyed playing Age of Calamity, but I did not 100% it, and just I don't feel a need to go back. I don't know.
So I might be the lone person who will have a little hype about this. I actually did 100% Age of Calamity. For whatever reason, compared to other Musou games, and especially Zelda-themed Musou games, it just really got its... I think because it was all streamlined. The road to 100% wasn't as impossible as in like Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition, and it got its teeth into me. And I didn't go back for the first DLC, but this second DLC has new story content, and I enjoyed Age of Calamity's what-if kind of story. So I will probably go back for this, just because there's new story content. If there wasn't, I probably wouldn't. But the new story trailer kind of got me interested. So I'm into this. I'm not like hype, but I'm looking forward to it.
What about you, Nate? I heard the groan.
Yeah, it's...
Uh-oh.
Unfortunately, Age of Calamity just didn't click with me the way I wanted it to. I think it's a good Warriors game. I enjoyed kind of what the narrative was going for, but this DLC it didn't make me feel anything. It doesn't have me really interested to dive back into the game. And part of that is because of the game's performance issues. The frame rate was just too really unstable for me to really become invested in it. And the narrative wasn't strong enough to really keep my interest. I completed the game. I enjoyed my time with it, but it's just not something I see myself going back to. And I'm glad for the fans of Age of Calamity that they're getting this DLC pack. Hopefully the narrative is strong, because Nintendo with DLC, we kind of get, weak storylines, if a storyline at all. So maybe if they can use this to tie into like Breath of the Wild 2, they might pique my interest. But as it stands, based on what they showed in the direct, this is another pass for me.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the original Hyrule Warriors were stronger just because they had this huge wealth of Zelda characters to pull from, and because this is more focused, it has a little more trouble with that. Because we got Purah and Robbie, and because of leaks long ago, we kind of know who the other character is, and it's just it looks fine if you're into it. It's great, but if I don't think this will sell it to anybody who's sort of passed on it.
And Purah and Robbie seemed like they seemed so obvious that I thought they were already in the game. I just assumed they were already there.
I made that mistake too. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just like, when we were discussing it in our predictions, I was like, oh, aren't they already? Oh God, they're not. Then I guess sure, yeah, they're coming. All right, so the next game, and I feel like there's not a lot to say here, but we got Chocobo GP, which is like,
dude, I'm hyped for this.
I am
hyped
too.
for this.
I'm excited, but it's like, it just feels like there's a Mario Kart 9 shaped hole in the Switch's library, and Square Enix realizes it.
And I'm fine with that. This looks great.
I liked some of the things, like you're able to get Magicite, and then if you get 3 of the same type, you get like the most powerful version of that spell. I think that's a really cool twist on the item system in a kart racer. But at the end of the day, it's still just a kart racer. Like, I don't know that I'm excited for it, but I don't think this was like one. I didn't throw my hands up, when I saw this last night. I was just like, oh, cool. This looks neat. I'll definitely try this when it comes out. But
see, I remember when the original Chocobo Racing came out on PlayStation 1. I played a demo for it. It didn't really click with me at the time, but it was one of those things I look back on. It's like, I wish I had gotten that just to have it. And this seems a lot more interestingly themed around Final Fantasy, because I saw this extra stuff where they showed like what these stages are based off of. Like, you got one based off the gold saucer from 7. You got Alexandria from 9. I just happened to pause it on the trailer here, and freaking Steiner's a character, which is awesome.
Awesome. I missed that.
So we actually have some Final Fantasy characters in here rather than just the generic ones.
Sick.
And that's fun. So it isn't just a black mage, it actually is Vivi. So the fact they're pulling from 9 so much is really cool. There's some really fun things in here. And yeah, I'm down. I'm actually really curious if since they have the whole Magicite system working like Diddy Kong Racing, could they pull off a good adventure mode? I don't know.
Oh man. I mean, you guys know me. I love Final Fantasy. I love arcade racers. I love kart racers as a subgenre of arcade racers. This is made for me. And the only reason I wasn't popping off yesterday during it was because, as you guys know who were watching with us, I was having some stream issues. The stream kept cutting out for me during this portion. But when I saw what I was looking at, I was like, fuck yeah. Like, I'm so excited about this game. Straight up.
Nice. So was this a hit or a miss for you, Nate?
It's very charming. It looks delightful. I can see that it will be a lot of fun. It's not a game for me, even though I do love the Final Fantasy franchise and all the characters that were featured in it. Even the soundtrack sounds incredible. Mm-hmm. But this is just not a game I see myself going to retail and picking up when it comes out, unfortunately. But, I mean, for all the points you 3 have mentioned, it definitely has a strong appeal to that base. And I can see it selling incredibly well, especially in Japan.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I really like the idea of that 8x8 elimination tournaments that have 64 players. That's cool.
A cool feature.
Yes. Yeah, I like that feature. That's something.
There's a Melodies of Life remix in the game apparently, which you got me there. I love that song. So, yeah.
Yeah. So that was definitely cool. I was gonna, so
that was a big highlight for me.
The next thing is probably the thing that Ash is the saddest
the next
about.
2 things.
The next, so hype.
2 things.
So Nintendo using a direct to announce an announcement is a new thing. They're getting pretty mad with it, but there's not a lot to say here. The final Smash character will be revealed and demoed on October 5th. So that tells me that release is somewhat imminent for this character, because usually after Sakurai does a presents, it's like
that is so coming out that night.
Yeah,
I would not be surprised if it got shadow dropped.
I could see it being like a week later or something. It might be
okay, maybe a week later.
But that's what I'm saying is, like, at most it's a week and then we're done.
Yeah.
And the point I wanted to make, and this could probably be a whole separate hour-long discussion on its own, but I'm excited for this. I'm excited for Smash Ultimate to be over. And the reason why I'm excited is not because I want to shit on fans that enjoy Smash Ultimate. I don't personally love Smash Ultimate nearly to the degree Ash does, but I do recognize that it's kind of a unique event in gaming, and it's a fun game. I'm just not... It's never going to crack my top 10, right? But as we've discussed over the years, Smash has to go somewhere different after this. It has to do something different because how do you top the roster, the game they've created, while going in the exact same direction? What are you going to call it? More Ultimate?
I mean, this will never. I mean, Sakurai has even said this
Ultimate
will
Plus
never happen again. So, and I think that's part of like the wistfulness I'm feeling. Is that I know that we've been eating really, really well with Smash Ultimate. We're never going to see a game like this ever again in our lifetimes, probably.
I doubt
in terms
that.
of the roster of characters.
I doubt that.
No, I'm sorry. I mean, I'm talking about gameplay. I'm talking about the roster of characters. I don't think we'll ever see all these video game icons in one game ever again. I don't see how that's possible. When you look at the roster of 80 plus characters, it's like an official Mugen almost, except I really think damn polished.
We won't see a roster like this in a game you want to play. Because as much as I hate to say it, I could see Fortnite pulling together a pretty damn diverse roster because they literally just have the money to do it.
Oh no, don't put that out in the universe.
They can't even get Samus. I mean, you could be right, but they can't even get Samus, and I just feel like Nintendo would still have to sign off on it.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you're talking about just in terms of sheer diversity, I'm not talking about necessarily like Nintendo's not going to bring their characters to Fortnite without a considerably huge amount of money being made available for it. But more than even Epic is probably willing to pay. But I'm just saying, like, in terms of the third party characters, I could see other games pulling that off. Or other publishers pulling that off. I just don't think it'll be.
As everybody points out, Fortnite is a little easier just because it's skins and not.
It's not
full-on
actually
characters.
Well, that's also part of it. It's also the context, not just the kind of.
Well,
game
right, but that comes down to
fighter.
the game you like, and not. I mean, the context.
No. What I mean is, I don't. No, I don't mean that. Not just as being a platform fighter. That's its own thing. I'm talking about. You look at something like Fortnite; those are skins. I'm talking about. Look at what Sakurai has done with all these characters. Look at the game they're wrapped in terms of the stages. Sure. The music, over 1,000 tracks, pulling from various tenets of great video game music. I'm talking about the whole package. I just don't think we're going to see another game like this.
Sure.
In that overall context. But I see what you're saying, Steve, about, third-party characters. Well, yeah, I mean, we see third-party characters in Fall Guys. We see them in Fortnite. We see them in Genshin Impact. I see what you're saying there. But Smash has been a big part of my life. I want Sakurai to have a huge vacation, and I'm glad he's going to get it, and I respect the hell out of the guy. But as Nicolas Cage says in Pig, we don't get a whole lot to really care about in this life, and Smash has been a huge part of my life for 20-plus years. And for me, I guess what it is, it's the end of the hype train that began with literally a dream come true day for me, which was Mega Man getting into Smash 8 years ago. In Smash 4, and that kickstarted this whole thing leading us up to 2 weeks from today. So I can't help but be a little sad about it, but I get it, and it has to end someday, and I'm just ignoring all the trolls saying, yeah, fuck Smash. Smash always sucked. So glad it's ending.
I have not seen anybody say that, but I also don't go on forums, so.
Oh, yeah. No, I've seen it. I've seen it in here in our own chat a little bit, actually.
Oh, wow. I'm surprised by that. That's unfortunate, but, it's okay not to like something. It's not okay to shit on other people's enjoyment of it. But anyway, yeah, there's Smash.
We'll didn't get Nate's opinion real quick. Were you surprised by this, Nate, that they held it off?
A little bit. I thought they would have at least teased the final character a little more than just, hey, come back in 2 weeks and we will fully reveal it. And it felt out of place. Because, and we'll get into it, I guess, later on, but they didn't do this just once. They did it three times over the course of the Direct, and that's just really weird pacing and fragmentation of what's usually a cohesive presentation. So I understand why they want to make it a big spectacle. It's the final character, so let's hold it for the Sakurai Direct. But I think they could have at least teased it in a grander way to really pique our interest beyond just the scope of this is the final character, so we know you're going to tune in. Give us a hint, an expectation of what's the final character behind the curtain, and really raise that interest level to even non-fans.
Who's getting the keys to the kingdom, as it were?
Yeah.
Wow, Ash, you keep hoping.
I know it's not happening. I get it. I just can't help.
That would be
it's
honestly. And I'm just going to put this out there. I feel like it would be really weird to go out on a third-party character for a franchise that has well-defined Nintendo's success in some respects. I feel like it almost certainly has to be a Nintendo-owned character. But I could be wrong. I'm probably wrong.
Who knows? Usually the final Smash characters are not that exciting, so...
Yeah. I mean, hell, it might be a Pokemon. I really hope not, but I'll take a Pokemon over Waluigi. That's all I'll say.
I just want the
anyone but Waluigi.
Sakurai adds every Nintendo character but Waluigi as the final.
Yes, like that would be justified.
He's going to add Spike.
He should... I would welcome that. They should have Waluigi actually come out to introduce the character, get everyone excited, and then whoever is the final character just comes in and like suplexes him off the screen. And it's
I mean, that would be kind of cool if the final character is like all the assist trophies kind of fighting each other. To have that to try to get that final letter.
Steve, as Ninkarab points out, though, the final character in Smash 4 is Bayonetta, a Sega third-party character. So, who knows? That's what's exciting. We really don't know, and I'm just going to miss the speculation and the excitement and just the constant who's next. That's all. But I'll deal. I'll accept it.
We already discussed it. Nicktoons is your new daddy. You can
exactly
for that dopamine hit. All right. Before we move on, because Nintendo is just about to get the big guns out, and I feel like we're probably going to be engrossed in conversation for the rest of the episode. I wanted to get some of these super chats out of the way. Red Flash Drive with a $5 super chat says, "I gotta get this off my chest. Ash, I saw you at the Smash Ultimate Invitational and was too scared to say hi. If I see you again, I'll actually say hi. Definitely shouldn't be scared. Ash is very approachable."
Yes, I promise
He's only bitten me 3 times.
Yeah, only 3 times. Steve, only twice. No, but seriously, please do say hi next time you see me. I'm just a regular guy, just like you. I'm a regular guy who loves games. So please say hi next time you see me. I'd love to meet you.
Monado Mario with a 75 new Taiwanese dollar super chat says, "No matter which character gets revealed in Smash, somebody's going to be upset. Not going to lie."
Yep.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
No matter what gets revealed by Nintendo, anytime, anywhere, somebody's going to be upset. Nate is an expert on that.
Yes.
Let's see. Alan Wilkinson with a £2 super chat says, "I'm still convincible Smash is going to name change. I doubt it. I really doubt it.
No.
I don't think they're going to.
I don't see that happening.
Yeah, I think they're going to leave it as Smash Ultimate, and then I bet the next game we get after is just called Smash Brothers again." Hus Mohammed with an Australian $5 super chat says, if Sega were to return to console manufacturing, what would a cool new name be for the new system? Genesis, Saturn, and Dreamcast are such memorable names.
Oof.
Oh, that is putting us on the spot.
New Genesis to
New Genesis.
Oh, there you go.
Star? Yeah.
It only plays PSO2.
Yeah.
Ragnarok Hard with a $5 super chat says, "I am foaming at the mouth, excited for the new Yoko Taro game." Well, demo's out. Foam away.
Yeah.
There you go.
Maybe not in range of somebody who, like a vet, they might put you down, but
also, I love that name, Ragnarok Card. That's great.
It is good. Shadow the Pico with a $2 super chat. Seth Rogen stars in Pineapple Launcher Express. Yeah, I got thoughts. We'll talk about that in a bit. Of course, the chat just scrolled out of control as soon as I read that. Let's see.
Of course, they're coming up with Sega names.
Oh no, the chat refreshed and took out a bunch of super chats for me. Thanks.
It's okay. I'm in the back end now. I'm refreshing the back end.
I need to pull them in the back end. I usually just keep the chat window open, but
let's see. We were at Ragnarok Hard. Okay, so next is Shadow the Pika with $2 saying Seth Rogen stars in Pineapple Launcher
Express. Oh, we read
Express.
that one.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, my bad. Okay. $5 from Who Else But Zane. Would you guys rather have Wii/GameCube games come as remakes or ports, an online service, or as sequels? I guess it depends on the game. Some I'd like to have sequels to, for sure, but I think ports just would be nice. There are so many great games stuck on the GameCube that I would love to be able to play natively on Switch. So I'm going to go on the port remake side, I guess.
Yeah.
Did
same.
you have it up, Steve? Want me to keep going?
My mouse cursor has now disappeared, so if you want to keep going,
Nice. Okay. Next is $4.99 from Arkwing, saying, from the Voice of the Cards demo, it's more of a card-themed RPG, but the battle system doesn't use cards at all. It's a basic turn-based battle system.
No.
That's I had a hard time getting like an exact point on what exactly the gameplay loop is in that game, but that could be true. Thank you, Arkwing. Kane Woolley with 5 New Zealand dollars, saying my most hype announcement was Chocobo GP, baby. I am very much alone in that hype.
It's up there for me,
but I have a lot of good memories of the PS1 original. Yeah, hey, and as Derek just said, it's up there for him. I just got done talking about how hype I am for it, so you are not alone. Thank you, Kane.
Yep. Oh, I'm back, by the way. I've got it now.
Okay.
So Kit Fisto, Canadian $5 super chat. Glad to be able to catch you live finally. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Glad you're here.
Thank you.
Rob Arman X with a $5 super chat. Grandfather just got out of surgery for a heart problem. All went well and no problems, but good vibes from the GV gang would be appreciated. Well, you have all our good vibes, man. You are always so good to us.
Absolutely.
So let us give a little bit of that back to you.
Here's my good luck charm. Hell yeah.
There we go. Yeah. So best of
we love you, Rob.
all our best to your grandpa. We love you, man. Hope everything is a-okay there and that he has a swift and uneventful recovery. Shadow Hermit with a European with a £4.99 euro super chat says, is a year late DLC for most games too late for you, like Age of Calamity, Animal Crossing, and Monster Hunter Rise? PS is €4.99. Thanks for correcting me. I was clearly thrown off by it. We'll talk more about that because Animal Crossing is coming later in the show. Jared Helder, Canadian $5 super chat, says, Nate, big fan of the podcast. I just finished watching Castlevania, and now I want to try the games. Should I go for the Advance collection? We'll talk about that in a little bit as well.
Yes, you should.
But yes. Short answer, yes.
4 excellent games for $20. You can't go wrong.
No.
Yeah. Exactly. Wolfstar with $5. So disappointing that Smash 64 isn't online. That's the one Smash game all my college friends love. So I just want that one game online. Agreed. That would be cool.
I'd like that. Yeah.
I feel like it'll come eventually, but they don't want it to compete with Smash Ultimate.
Yeah.
no diverting attention.
I have thoughts on that too. You're with another Shadow Hermit with another €4.99 super chat, says, looking forward to the slashing tires of all the Lightning and Squall haters when they get in the cart. Which character would you like in cart? And then finally, Black Ninja with $2 says, it's freaking Master and Crazy Hand, which I don't believe. I'm not on that.
I don't think so. I don't think
can't
so. And
see
to
that
answer
one
your
now.
question, Shadow Hermit, Yuna or Terra, I'd take either one in a card. I think that'd be cool if they were playable.
Yeah.
What would I pick? I don't know.
And no, I don't think it's going to be Master or Crazy Hand either. I don't see that happening.
So I think this next announcement, at least for me, it wasn't a surprise because we talked about it in our predictions, but maybe the most hype for me out of the entire show. We're finally getting a 3D Kirby game.
Woo!
And not only are we getting a 3D Kirby game, but at least to me, this game looks awesome. It looks stupendously good.
Does.
I didn't know what to expect because, like I said, I'm not the world's biggest Kirby fan. But seeing that game, holy shit, I have to buy that like immediately. It just was everything I didn't know I wanted on the Switch. So I know you guys had to be way more excited even than I was, but I was definitely pretty hyped when I saw this.
We kind of all had a problem with the spoilers just everywhere on social media. So. And other websites. So it was kind of like I had seen it, but I had no context for it. So seeing actually in context and seeing it play out, this looks fantastic. I'm already working on completing my notes for a deep dive, and there's some really fun stuff in here. Some really cool details that I'm looking forward to talking about. But yeah, it's good stuff. I'm really looking forward to this.
Nate,
this is skyrocketing. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
What were you feeling at this moment? What did you like this Kirby game, or is this not for you? What's your take on this?
So Kirby is a franchise I enjoy very much. Planet Robobot, in my opinion, is probably one of, if not the best Kirby game to come out in the last decade.
Agreed.
So when I see a brand new 3D Kirby game announced for the Switch, the only thing that went through my mind is, hell yes, I need this game now. This is the evolution the Kirby franchise has desperately needed since Planet Robobot. Nothing against Kirby Star Allies, but that was a safe release. This is what they needed to do. This is risky, and it looks like Super Mario Odyssey with Kirby. And that's exactly what I want from this franchise. Everything about it just screams excitement, and that game needs to be out now. I cannot wait till spring 2022, because that's a day one release, and I'm just going to commit myself to that game for a full week or however long it takes me to 100% it. I cannot wait to play this game.
Everything you just said, I mirror completely. This was the best part of the Direct for me. Definitely, easily, no questions asked. I love Kirby. He's my favorite Nintendo character ever. You all know that. As you said, Nate, this is the evolution Kirby has needed. I love his 2D games. I want more of them, but I'm so excited to finally be getting something truly new from Kirby. And just, booyah, is all I have to say about this. I'm fucking hyped for this. I'm so happy. I'm so excited, man.
Nice. I'm definitely really. My excitement is way up there, but yeah, you guys are probably a bit more into it than I am. I'm hopeful that I'll really like this game. I loved every bit of gameplay I saw. But yeah, I'll be right there with you guys day one, like lining up to buy this. This game looks incredible.
Nice.
Following that up, go ahead, Derek.
Oh no, I just everything about it I've seen so far really shows a bit of evolution while keeping a lot of classic elements. There's definitely some questions that need to be answered as far as ease, because I haven't gotten quite to that point yet of looking around, but it might be very easy to just sort of like, oh, enemies coming at me, walk around. These are very wide open maps, but Kirby's always been easy, so it's not too surprising. But again, we'll see. I'm hoping to have it ready by the end of the weekend.
Nice.
Let's look forward to that.
Following that, Nintendo dropped the news we've all been expecting for a long time, is that Brewster is coming to Animal Crossing. That was data mined like a year ago. So it is really it wasn't a huge surprise. What I think was more surprising is to see after so much silence that we're not just getting an update to Animal Crossing, but we're getting a full-on Animal Crossing Direct in October, which Nate alluded to earlier. Nintendo, for some reason, decided they were going to use this Direct to announce other Directs, which I thought was bizarre. And I'll be honest, even as a really big Animal Crossing fan, this was an underwhelming moment for me. Like, I knew Brewster was coming eventually, and I was hoping they'd show more than just your character literally walking through the door. Like, they just show a villager walk in. You don't even get to see Brewster's shop. It's just
no, you do. You kind of do. When they have an airing October thing, that is Brewster's shop.
You see like a blurred out shot of it behind you. Behind the logo. But I mean, I wanted to see somebody actually walk in and see what you can do in there. Like, give me a quick look. But regardless, I mean, they must have much more than Brewster to show if they're going to fill out a whole Direct just with Animal Crossing information. I hope that this means, and I say this in a weird way, but I hope this means paid DLC, because I feel like free updates are just not going to be large enough in scale to really make me want to play the game again. But if it's something that Nintendo is convinced they can actually charge for, then it's got to be a bit more substantial than the updates they've been delivering for Animal Crossing so far. So I hope we get something with some actual substance to it that maybe, I mean, I've got all the bugs, I've got all the fish, I built my house, I'm done. I don't know what the hell else to do. And honestly, as much as I love Brewster and I love the coffee shop, just being able to sit in a coffee shop is not going to make me play the game some more. I need something like an activity, something to do. So we'll see. I'm holding out hope, though. I feel like Nintendo realizes, how far the reach of this game was, how far it is, and the fact that if they put out something meaningful, all those millions of people, have something to look forward to and something to open their wallets for. I know so many people that only own this game and don't play anything else. So I'm hopeful. But yeah, even as a huge fan, I just kind of glossed over this one. I was like, this is a throwaway. I'll see what they have in October. But
yeah,
the
we'll just be there.
announcement itself did
They
nothing.
just want to give us more reactions, Steve. That's all.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Like, selfishly, I actually like that they're doing it. As much as I don't like the announcement of an announcement thing in general, it helps us, right? It helps us selfishly that we get to do another Nintendo-focused reaction stream, and that's just great for us as content creators. But yeah, I've said this. I've gotten my fill of Animal Crossing with New Leaf and Wild World. Brewster is one of my favorite parts of Animal Crossing, but that alone isn't going to be enough for me to start playing
Right.
New Horizons. It's just not.
Yeah. So I
Mhm.
mean, this is kind of the part where the direct kind of hit a down tempo, as it were, in my opinion. They followed this up with like just your typical like sizzle reel of various things that
See, we got your Super Rush new stuff.
Yeah.
But that's cool. They're still supporting Super Rush, getting, new characters. Again, the biggest surprise from Super Rush was the fact that apparently Ninja's been wearing pajamas this entire time, and he's more like a fall guy.
I didn't
Oh, wow.
realize that. I never really, I don't think I ever really thought about what a ninja's biology actually is, but I didn't ever think they were wearing pajamas the whole time.
it's interesting. It's like my
Yeah.
sister. Anyway,
What?
just in the fact that they wear pajamas all day.
Oh.
Anyway,
So I will say, just me and Amy are the only ones that got excited for this, but that Disney's Magical World 2 getting a
Oh.
release, it is something she's always talked about as wanting to see ported or getting a third one, because the game just made her so happy. It was a happy place during a rough time, and I was always like, well, I hope, but in my back of my mind, I was like, that's probably not going to happen. So to see it actually come out, that's a special moment for me. To see
nice.
like this niche game actually get a lot of some love, and it's people as fans can enjoy it. So that's cool.
There, you know what was special for me in this sizzle reel, and apparently for a lot of people, because I literally got dozens of Twitter notifications about this. Someone in Dying Light 2 looks exactly like me. I don't know what the deal is. I have never played Dying Light 2, but I had screen caps of this exact moment in the direct where this dude's face just comes on screen, coming at me from all sides, to the point that my phone was going off so much at work that I thought something was wrong. I was like, oh God, like I was trying to ignore my phone because I knew the direct was on, and I was like, I really don't want people to spoil me for the direct before I can see it. But my phone was like literally vibrating off the table it was sitting on. So I grabbed it and I'm like, dude, what the fuck is going on? Like, what has happened? Are my kids okay? And I look and it's just tons of people tweeting at me. Steve Bowling's in the direct. And so I opened one up. I was like, fine, I'll look. And I looked at it and I was like, man, that's almost too close for comfort. Like it is really close. It is absurdly close. I'm going to screenshot it and post it in our Discord so it'll show up on screen without me doing too much. But I mean, like, and part of me was like, maybe I'm just seeing what I want to see because so many people are suggesting to me that it looks like it. So
No, it's pretty on point.
yeah, without context, last night I handed my phone, I paused it and I handed the phone to my wife and I said, look at this. And she said, and all she said was, so someone photoshopped you into a game. Big deal. And I was like, nobody photoshopped anything. That's just the way the dude in the game looks. And she was like, that is ridiculous.
That is, I didn't realize it at the time, but seeing it now is actually amazing. That is
Yeah.
I know,
kind
right?
of absurd. Yeah.
So it was
kind
a
of
little,
kind of
man.
missed it.
yeah, it was definitely a little unsettling to see what looks close to my appearance being in a game. But anyway, Project Triangle Strategy was like the bookend of this little sizzle reel that they were doing.
Well, you also missed Star Wars. If you just wanted to bring up Knights of the Old
sorry.
real quick.
KOTOR's coming to Switch. It looks nice.
The only thing I'll say is it threw me off because I thought it's like, oh, this doesn't look like an HD Star Wars, because I thought that's what it was.
Oh no, yeah.
Because they announced the remake. I'm like, well, this looks basic, but I guess Switch is just getting a normal version.
I did wonder initially if they were trying to pass that off as the remake, as folks have done on Nintendo consoles throughout history. they just like port the old version and say like, yeah, it's this is the remake on the Nintendo console. I thought that might have been the case, but no, it's just old KOTOR. It looks really cool. I'll probably pick it up, but I don't have a ton to say about it. I also similarly don't have a ton to say about Triangle Strategy, which is that the final name now? Have they just, because they dropped the project?
They did the same thing as Octopath.
Why?
Yeah, which we kind of figured they would, I think. I'm not surprised, but it is a terrible name. Completely agree with you. Horrible name, but I'm still looking forward to it. And I like that they have been taking feedback. They're adding an easy mode for accessibility, for, just to make it, more accessible to a wider audience who maybe doesn't want to go up against the pretty severe, I would say, difficulty that was seen in the demo. I'm glad that they're offering more ways to play. I'm still looking forward to it. It's not that FF Tactics aesthetic. You got me there. Like, it looks great.
I definitely agree with that. So Nate, I gotta bring you in here. Triangle Strategy has completely lost me. Is this something that you're looking forward to, or what's your take on it?
100% looking forward to it. I love strategy and tactical RPGs, and this just reminds me of Final Fantasy Tactics so much in the visual style and presentation. And I love the demo when it came out earlier this year. The voice acting, the music, the character skills, even the map layouts, everything about it, just the general aesthetic really spoke to me. And the fact that this game's coming out early next year, I believe it's March 4th.
I think so.
I believe is the date.
I think you're right.
This is a game I'll be picking up day one, unless Kirby launches on March 4th. Then I'll have a tough decision. But this is definitely a title I'm looking forward to. I kind of hope they do another demo, maybe like in January, like we saw at Octopath, where they give you the first chapter and then you save progress over to the full game. I hope that happens here, because I'm all about this game right now. And when you have Advance Wars come out in December, and I can go to a brand new strategy game from Square Enix in March, that's a pairing made in heaven.
You're being well fed.
Yeah, indeed.
Yes. Yeah, that's for sure.
Man, Ninkober with a better name right off the I actually really like it. Triad of the Fates.
That's way better than, I mean, to be fair, you could name it like Hamburglar's Strategy Fighter, and that would be better than Triangle Strategy.
I don't know about that.
I'm just saying, at least it implies a little bit of effort and creativity. But like Triangle Strategy literally sounds like back when Sega just decided to name the genres of their games on their own. Like when they were like, Shenmue is a free game. It feels like that. Like somebody just got too full of themselves and they're like, yeah, the genre for this game is Triangle. Anyway, but yeah, I think visually Triangle Strategy is impressive, but I bounced off that first demo like crazy hard. I was just like, nope.
Oh, did you? Okay.
I didn't get a chance to try it out, but
like Nate,
I'm still excited for it.
I think that the fact that I don't want to play Triangle Strategy is more a reflection of where I'm at in life, because I am intimidated by games that I know will take me a very long time at this point. Like when I look at a game and I'm like, that's a 90+ hour game, I'm like, yeah, I could play a lot of smaller games in those 90 hours.
No, I'll say this. As excited as I am for it, I probably wouldn't have actually played it if they hadn't given me the mea culpa with having an easy mode, because I just, as you said, Steve, there's obviously a lot of content in this game, and it is for me. I want to check it out. I love FF Tactics. I love what they're doing with this, but this is the kind of game I would play on easy just to get the whole experience as quickly as I can, because I don't have that much time. So I don't, as much as I'm looking forward to it, I don't know if they would have grabbed me if not for them saying, hey, there's an easy mode now. So
sure. All right. Before we move on, I'm going to slam out a couple super chats because we're going to talk about Metroid, and then it just escalates from there.
I don't think we even need to talk about Metroid, to be honest.
Yeah, I was going to say that was my main talking point.
Obviously, we're hyped.
But Purity Chalice with a $4.99 super chat says, Ash, I feel your pain about Smash. I feel the same way knowing Sailor Moon Crystal Stars arc will be the end. It's extremely bittersweet. Love you guys. Well, thank you.
Aww.
We love you too.
Then you totally get it. Thank you, Purity. I'm glad someone understands my
I understand the sadness, but at the same time,
get
I
it.
feel like games are a bit more evergreen. I don't know.
Sure.
I get it. The ride's over. Everybody has to go home. Hunter J with a $5 super chat says, next Smash character will either be a major disappointment via first party like Byleth or a major riot with a third party like Crash or Geno. You're probably right.
Yeah, I think you're right.
let's see. We have $5 from Rob Arman. Oh, wait, I did miss one. Okay.
Yeah.
Shadow the Pico with a $2 super chat says, thoughts of Smash Direct being same day NASB drops.
Nickelodeon All-Stars.
Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. That's so mean. I don't think it was on purpose, but
Yeah,
No, it
probably
definitely wasn't on purpose.
Probably
so
not.
unfortunate,
But really
though.
funny. Really funny.
Yeah.
By the way, you missed Titus Malvolio.
I did. I just saw that. Okay. Titus Malvolio with a $5 super chat says, nothing to say, just want to send some love for all you guys do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Rob Arman X with $5 super chat saying, I'm making a new game, Triangular Stromboli, a cooking game about making food into specific shapes. That, no joke, sounds like a WarioWare micro game.
Yeah.
It does.
Sounds really yummy.
100%. I love it.
I could just picture like that cheery voice just saying triangle, and then you have to move Wario up and down along the edges. Black Ninja with a $10 super chat says, you find yourself double dipping for games on Switch? Dying Light was something I was waiting for so long. I had it on the PS4, even reduced clarity and frame rate. I'm excited to get it on the Switch. I do double dip a lot. I mean, I played Kakarot for like 200 hours on my PlayStation. And I just reviewed it on Switch. So
yeah, I occasionally do, not often, but I do sometimes. Yeah.
No, I don't really double dip that often to have the same game on two different modern consoles. Like, obviously I'm going to pick up Castlevania, even though I own all the games, but still want them.
Actually, for me, it's the other way around. I've found that ever since getting my 4K TV, I've double dipped on certain games on PS5 and PS4 Pro, like Streets of Rage 4, that I would like to see and behold in 4K. So it's actually kind of the other way around for me more recently.
I see.
Nice. Finally, to round this out, CJ Eziami, I hope I said that right. Eziami, I don't know. But with $4.99, says Mega Man versus Dr. Eggman. Mega Man, every time.
Mega Man.
Mega Man has experience with psycho doctors, and also
it's so true.
I hate to remind you, but he was built by a psycho doctor. Dr. Light built a killing machine.
Well said. I like it.
I mean, Mega Man is also canonically beaten Eggman thanks to the Archie comic.
Oh, that's true.
I mean, he's specifically built to take down other robots, and Eggman builds other robots. It's Mega Man all the way.
Exactly. And by the way, Eggman builds terrible robots. His robots all suck compared to Robot Masters.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, so going back to the Direct, we got another look at Metroid Dread, another of many. And this one was really just kind of like an overview of the game, like pointing out the different environments and biomes that the game takes place in, showing off some basic stuff.
I am surprised you watched this. I thought you were going to skip it.
I watched the whole Direct. I committed to watching it all because I knew we'd talk about it, and I did get spoiled on something pretty major. And I was
that's why I was like when we were doing this reaction, I was like, oh, perfect. Steve found a way to still avoid this spoiler, and then you'll watch it on your own like an idiot.
Yep. So I'm not going to repeat the spoiler in case anybody avoided it, but it was very disappointing to find out. That being
exciting,
said,
but also disappointing to get it spoiled. That's the thing.
Yes, I would have loved to have encountered that moment in game without knowing about it. But damn it. Well, Nintendo, you keep doing this. You keep just shoving spoilers for Metroid down our throats. So, I mean, that said, game looks really cool. I don't think that's a surprise to anyone. It's out in like 2.5 weeks.
I am so ready for it.
I didn't need to see this in the Direct. You've had my money for the last year, Nintendo.
Yep. I mean, it's done. We're all fucking hyped as hell for this.
Yeah.
There's not much else to say. We're there.
So I would say though, the next announcement is the one that I really want to get into the weeds on. This was the Nintendo Switch Online N64 and Sega Genesis announcement. And I want to say that I often characterize Nintendo as giving people what they want with like a really thin layer of disappointment slathered over the top of it. And this has never been more true than it is for this announcement. First off, I remember in the predictions discussion telling Derek that I was like 99.9% sure that we were getting N64 thanks to that FCC filing and the labeling on the controllers, which all turned out to be accurate. And then I said, Derek said, what games? And I was like, oh, Super Mario 64. And Derek's like, but they just sold us that. And I was like, which is exactly why they'll do it. That is 100% why Nintendo will launch this thing with Mario 64, because they already sold it to us and they fucking know they did. I mean, I will give them the credit that they at least, like, when they announced it, they showed Ocarina of Time first. They were like, oh, look, Ocarina of Time's coming. And then, but they had to let you know that Mario 64 was there. They're like, yeah, you already bought it too, didn't you, you jerks? But
Steve, Star Fox 64 online multiplayer.
Oh, I love that. I mean,
oh my God. I'm so into that.
So I want to throw this to Nate first, because I think we've talked about this at length on the channel. But you definitely saw this coming, Nate. You were talking about it for a long while. What was your take when you finally, like, actually saw them officially announce this?
Relief.
Yeah, I can't imagine. I can't imagine how many people probably asked you about this every day for months.
It was great to finally see it made official. And the most exciting aspect of it for me was that they confirmed the online multiplayer aspect. That, we had it with the Super NES and NES games, but I think with N64 it was kind of that question mark of, would they still implement online with the titles? Because the idea of having online multiplayer with a title like Mario Kart 64 is just a dream come true.
Oh, yeah.
Having balloon battles online with friends, it doesn't get much better than that. And Mario Kart 64 has the best balloon battle. It's something that we had to beg for to even be, like, implemented in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And now we have access to it for online play. And that was really exciting to see. And the lineup of games for launch and titles coming is incredibly strong. And for a lot of people who had doubts about what type of roster of games could we really see Nintendo take from their back catalog, and they surprised people with Pokemon Snap, Winback, of all things, this miscellaneous random.
I know.
Who expected that title? And then the cream of the crop, Banjo-Kazooie.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Banjo's coming home.
Yeah, Banjo's coming home. And now you have to wonder, what does this mean for other rare-owned N64 properties? Are we going to get Diddy Kong Racing? Does this open the door to the possibility of Killer Instinct Gold? Could we get...
Oh my God.
What else can we get? Hopefully this also means Banjo-Tooie is going to be planned. But this could have been a one-off allowance because Banjo is in Smash Brothers. We have the Amiibo. So Microsoft is just being friendly and saying, you guys can have the Banjo franchise. But in the back of my mind, I still have to wonder, could Microsoft and Nintendo play nice and give us Perfect Dark with online multiplayer?
Ooh.
Oh my God. That would be ridiculous.
I don't know if they'll do that, if only because they have their own Perfect Dark coming.
Right.
If the collective's version wasn't on its way,
that could serve as an excellent promotional tool for the upcoming Perfect Dark, though. I mean,
that is true.
If we could get online Diddy Kong Racing, though, that would be
really
damn cool.
Well, I'm so happy for online Dr. Mario 64, just because 4-player Dr. Mario is a lot of fun. The fact that, as Ninkober's bringing up, Mischief Makers, Wave Race, 1080, Bomberman 64 on multiplayer. Yes.
And you know, it's funny. I didn't think about this yesterday, and I'm surprised I didn't, but what if we actually ended up getting, it's not the best version of the game, but what if we got Mega Man 64? That would technically give us Mega Man Legends on Switch.
That would be wild.
Just the first one, but that would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many possibilities.
I just brought it up, actually, in live audience chat. Yeah.
I mean,
like, we really can't dismiss any third-party possibilities coming to the service now. When you have rare games coming over, you have random title like Winback coming over. Could we get Castlevania 64? I know it's a title a lot of people hate.
Not as bad as people say once you get the hang of it, but it's still... It has issues.
It's rough, but I played it when I was a kid and enjoyed it.
Yeah, it makes more sense to bring over Legacy of Darkness just because it basically has all the content from the original just to unlock. So it's just a nice, svelte package.
I mean, it's really exciting to see N64 games with online multiplayer, as Ash brought up. Star Fox 64 multiplayer or F-Zero X online multiplayer.
Oh, hell yeah. And I know Steve will totally back me up on this. Konami, since I know you're watching, I know you watch us every day.
I know where you're going, and I like it.
Goemon, please. Bring Goemon to this service, please.
I need to hear I Am Impact on my Switch. Oh, man, that would be amazing. I will admit that N64 was definitely exciting for me, but I honestly was a bit more hyped for Genesis just because of how weird it is.
Is there anything on here that hasn't been in the endless collections that we've gotten over the years?
No.
That's, I mean, Castlevania Bloodlines, it's nice to see Castlevania Bloodlines getting all kinds of love after so long. I think Hardcore is another big one that's, doesn't get ported too often. And hey, they show some love to Rystar. That's nice.
But Phantasy Star 4 is on there.
I mentioned to you when that came up. Yeah.
That's like a seminal RPG. You have to play that game. If you're an RPG fan and you've never played Final Fantasy or Phantasy Star 4, you are shortchanging yourself. You absolutely have to play that game. It is like one of the best RPGs in my opinion ever made. It is that damn good. And I think it's available. Most of these games, maybe all of them, are available on the Genesis Mini. So I'm not surprised, but I am confused. The Genesis surprised me, but what surprised me even more was the fact that someone, and I don't know that it's Nintendo for a fact, is putting out a Genesis controller for the Switch. Like, think about that for just a minute.
Yeah.
Someone, possibly Sega, is making hardware for a Nintendo console. And it's even weirder if you think that Nintendo is producing Genesis controllers for the Switch. I imagine it has to be Retrobit. That's who I think is probably making this Switch Genesis controller, just because they did the recent reproductions of various Sega controllers. Although something happened there and they stopped. They didn't make the Dreamcast one. But this wasn't in the FCC filing at all. Which leads me to believe that some other company is creating the Genesis controller, and
they did an odd thing as well, where the US version is the 3-button version, but Japan is getting the 6-button version.
Right, and they are out of their minds if they think I'm spending $50 on a 3-button Genesis controller.
I'm doing it. I'm sold.
I might do it for N64, and I probably would for the Genesis one if it was the 6-button, but $50 is a bit steep for me for that.
I'm spending $250 because I'm buying 4 of those N64 controllers.
Oh shit! Nice.
Oh god!
Nice.
No way I'm not recreating my old setup. But yeah, this was a really exciting announcement in my opinion. But again, in true Nintendo fashion, they just had to make it ever so slightly disappointing. They didn't tell us how much it's going to cost. They didn't tell us when it's coming out. They teased us with games for this that'll be coming later to the service without committing to a release schedule.
Release schedule.
They did it in the most Nintendo way possible. Like, everyone wants this, but no one wants to pay extra for it, especially because of Nintendo's spotty track record of releasing these games, right? Like, they have not convinced me with their NES and SNES release schedule that I should give them more money. If anything, they've convinced me that they're probably not earning the money they're getting from me. But then to add to that and say, hey, we will give you these for an unspecified amount of money at an unspecified date. Here's the launch lineup, and here are the games we're going to release later, but we won't tell you how long that'll take. Like, all of that just... Nintendo, just stick the landing for once in your life. Just... I just imagine that Miyamoto just occasionally throws out really bad grenade level ideas, and people are just like, well, it's Miyamoto, so we're going to do it. He's like, don't tell them how much it'll cost. Just let them think about it for a minute. And they're like, are you sure? And he's like, I made Mario. And they're like, oh, God, he says that every time. Fine, don't tell him. But yeah, so... I mean, go ahead.
They got me here. I would say they got me here.
The thing is, they got all of us. Let's be honest.
I'm upgrading. NSO is already so cheap, in my opinion, that I don't mind. Now, if it was like double the price, that'd be ridiculous. But I don't think it's going to be. I think it'll be probably like $5 more or something. They got me by the balls here. I'm gonna upgrade. Like, I am. It's just gonna happen. What that says about me, I don't know. But they got me.
You're weak.
So, yeah.
I'm right there with you, Ash. I'm right there with you. If this is weakness, then I am absolutely baby level weak.
Yeah.
So after we got through N64, they kind of went through some rapid fire stuff again. We got I'm gonna skip over whatever this game was. I can't remember what
Shadowrun Trilogy.
Shadowrun Trilogy. I was like, cool.
That was out of nowhere. Yeah.
But then we got Castlevania Collection. And just like I had predicted, it's a shadow drop. It just came out later that same day, which, I mean...
Oh, cool.
I feel like I just
haven't picked it up
connected
yet,
two
but
very close dots, but
yeah. Absolutely pick it up. It is really good. Dracula X is definitely the most difficult game on that list, but it has a rewind feature. So trust me, use it for that game. You'll need it.
Yeah.
But Harmony of Dissonance and Aria of Sorrow, pretty easy. Circle of the Moon has some challenge, but these are 3 great games to jump into the more Metroidvania style of Castlevania games.
Mm-hmm.
Great,
Nice.
great titles.
and
Yeah,
Nate,
I'm glad Nate agrees with me.
yeah.
Oh, these are great
Yes.
games, and I
Yeah,
actually went ahead and
they
picked
are.
up the collection already, and the emulation seems great. I mean, at $20, it's a no brainer for me. I mean, these are, I don't think Harmony of Distance is the best game, but it's still not bad. It's still a good game. It's just that the others, well, maybe not Dracula X. That's also just good, but Aria of Sorrow is maybe one of the best Castlevania games of all time, and you're getting it for $5. And then Circle of the Moon is also pretty great. So this is a great collection. I will say the gallery's like, oh, full of unreleased and never before seen concept art. No, it isn't. It's like each game's box art, one piece of character art per game, and like the instruction booklet scans. And that was kind of ridiculous. But the rest of the collection's great. Yeah.
I just looking at I have it paused on Harmony of Dissonance. It does not the lighting does not seem as blown out as the original release. I think they might have toned it down for this, which is good.
Nice. So yeah, Castlevania collection looks really compelling. I still need to pick it up. I will probably, this will be my first time playing any of those games. I've not tried them, but
Wow.
I've heard nothing but praise from them. My brother was really big into them. He played all the DS games too, and he was in love with those. So I owe
Now
it to myself to try them.
That's a trilogy that has to come next year. Because the DS Castlevania trilogy
Oh,
are
please.
3
That would be
of the
awesome.
absolute best Castlevania games. Order of Ecclesia is better than Symphony of the Night. I said it.
Wow.
Deal with it.
I agree.
Ooh, you went there.
In my opinion, Order of Ecclesia is the best Castlevania.
Yes.
It's great.
Hands down.
It takes everything that past Castlevanias did and just perfected it. It has the difficulty and variety of the Classicvania games. It has some great exploration elements. It has a new take on the Aria of Sorrows system of having all kinds of different abilities, and it's just so good. I love it.
Yeah.
Nice.
By the
Yeah,
way, Steve, just a quick reminder: we were going to tell Sketch MPM what our dream N64 game was.
Oh yeah,
right.
I mean, you kind of hit mine on the head with Goemon. Like I truly, really want Goemon. Barring that, the one rare property we didn't mention, which is Jet Force Gemini, because that game is stupid hard and I've never beat it.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Goemon would be pretty high for me as well. And as I said, Mega Man 64, also Wave Race 64. I miss Wave Race. I love Wave Race.
Mischief Makers. I have it, but it'd be cool to have it on Switch.
Shake, shake.
One.
Yeah, I love
shake.
that game.
I mean, if it's a Dream 64 game, I'm going to go with the obvious choice, GoldenEye.
Ooh,
there you
yeah.
go.
I hadn't even thought about that as a possibility.
As
GoldenEye might
ephemeral
take it
as a
as
dream too, unfortunately.
well. GoldenEye.
I mean, GoldenEye Online.
Man, Nintendo would
Ooh,
make so much money.
I'll
if
be
they
the
were able to do
Floof Pokemon Puzzle League.
that.
Oof,
that's
that's a good
too.
point.
All right, that's a good one.
Ooh, that's also a good one. Yep. That might have to be it for me, actually. Pokemon Puzzle League, just to get a that's really good. I know John would agree.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Isn't Puyo Puyo on the Japanese lineup for N64 Online? I could be wrong.
I just saw somebody mentioned that Mischief Makers might be on the Japanese list.
I think it is.
So I'm looking that up.
Yeah, the
like, what the
Japanese Genesis list was also quite different. It included Shinobi 3, I believe. While Derek looks that up, was it just me or did ActRaiser look like crap?
I agree.
It looked fine. I didn't.
I think the art style was terrible.
I've not played the original. I own it, but I've not had a chance to play it, and it looked fine, but I have no basis. So
To me, it looks like they're using the SNES Donkey Kong Country technique of like pre-rendering models and then turning them into sprites, and it looks really low rent to me. I was honestly surprised at how prominently this game was featured in the Direct. I was just like, this game looks really bad. Like it looks like a mobile game.
Yeah. I thought it looked okay, but I won't lie. I'm more excited. I really want to hear those remastered Yuzo Koshiro beats because he remastered the entire soundtrack.
Oh yeah,
himself.
I mean the soundtrack sounds great, but
hear.
I'm strictly referring to the visual presentation of the game. I think the art style they went with is just really bad, really like Marvel versus Capcom Infinite level bad. And
wow,
it is
that bad to me. But again, I don't have that base that the original as a basis.
Yeah. Well, it
was
reminds
such
me.
a cool surprise though.
What was that game that was in a like a spiritual successor to ActRaiser? Soul something.
Soul Blazer.
Soul Blazer, yes.
Was Soul Blazer connected to ActRaiser? Maybe.
I don't know.
No, it's just like the
Soul Seraph.
Or Soul Seraph. Thank you.
Soul Seraph. Okay.
Yeah, that game. It looks similarly like they almost share a very similar art style where the characters just kind of look unappealing. Let's just put it that way. I don't have a better adjective for it, but I watched this game footage and I was just like, man, this game might be really fun to play, but it is really hard to look at. I just can't get past the visuals and how it looks.
It didn't bother me that much, but
different
I can say I've seen that complaint. Yeah. I've seen that complaint. By the way,
the surprise was cool.
Yeah, definitely a great surprise. Just by the way, Mischief Makers is not on Japanese N64. They do not. Japan N64 does not get Dr. Mario 64, but they do get Custom Robo and Custom Robo V2.
Ooh, that's a fair trade.
Man, those are really good too.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna blaze through the rest of this because we're way longer than I expected. Because I want to get to like the big anchor story at the end, really. But Nintendo gave us a quick look at Deltarune Chapters 1 and 2, which are coming to Switch. I think they're available now already because that was a Shadow Drop. We got another look at Shin Megami Tensei 5, which for me fell into the category of just Nintendo take my money. I've already seen the game. I know I want it. We got Hot Wheels, which, all right.
I mean, the exciting thing from this section is Rune Factory 5 confirming that there's going to be same-sex marriages.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I missed that. That's awesome.
I totally agree with that. Oh, go ahead.
I'm not saying I'm going out of my way to go get Hot Wheels, but we actually thought it looked kind of fun. Maybe I'm the only one.
I will get you a code for it. They've offered, and I just was like, all I want to know is if the Ryu and Chun-Li Hot Wheels are in that game. I really don't want to play it, but
oh my God.
I need to know if the Street Fighter Hot Wheels are in it.
I mean, it does look fun, but I don't think it's going to be able to compete with the fantastic release that is Cruisin' Blast.
Oh, I agree. Cruisin' Blast is so good, Nate. It's so good.
It's so good. It's game of the year.
I mean, you know what? I love arcade racers. I won't argue with you, but man, it is genuinely a great port, and with so much new content.
The theme just brought a smile to my face as soon as I heard it upon booting the game up. I was like, I can't wait to play this. And then I got to Twisted Terror. And I see the tornado go by me. I was like, this is awesome. And then you do that jump and the earth just falls apart. You see the planes fall through the ground. And I just sat there yelling at my TV like, whoa.
Yep.
Nice.
I could not believe how much joy that game is giving.
The theme song is pure 90s cheese. Is perfect.
Yes.
You've convinced me. I'm going to go pick that up tonight because I actually have to go. My son, for those of you that don't know, he called Kakarot on Switch at the last Direct. Like out of nowhere, he's just like, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. I was like, sure, buddy. And it came out today. So I'm going to go pick him up a copy. Maybe I'll pick up Cruisin' Blast while I'm there.
Do it.
There you go.
Anyway, so the next story we got, and this is kind of like the big one that this was spoiled for me.
Blew up the internet.
But Shigeru Miyamoto showed up in the Direct sporting an amazing do, by the way. Man's got incredible hair. But to announce the English voice cast for the Mario movie. And, Mario is obviously voiced by the person we'd all expect him to be voiced by, Chris Pratt. Andy Dwyer from fucking Parks and Rec is Mario. Go ahead.
The thing is, everybody immediately thought Star-Lord and Jurassic World and all that. And Amy brought up the idea. I was like, I completely forgot this. He has voice acted before. He is Emmett in Lego Movie. Sounds exactly like himself, but
that's true. I didn't think of that. But either way, like, I'm not so much concerned about like A-list actors' voice acting chops. It's just, man, I can't imagine him sounding right as Mario at all.
Yeah. That didn't land well for me. That was like the problem. It's funny, they led with the one that was the biggest flop for me. Like, that's just there's some bad vibes surrounding Chris Pratt, and just him as Mario just feels weird to me. I don't know. Anya Taylor-Joy is cute, though. Hell yeah, she's a
I don't know who
actor.
she is.
Neither did Derek. She's from the Queen's Gambit. Queen's
I've
Gambit.
not watched.
Oh my God, that's her.
Split. Yeah, that's her.
I can see it now. Like well, the minute you said it, I can put the fate. Like, but I, picture red hair and completely different. Yeah. Okay. She's a hell of an actress.
Yeah, she is.
Charlie Day for me is probably the funniest one as Luigi, just because I cannot divorce Charlie Day the person from Charlie the character, and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. And so I just can't, like, I picture Luigi just being like an illiterate pervert. Like,
oh no, I saw this where somebody made a fan animation from the one bit from Always Sunny where he's like, "Did you see me eat that? I forget what. See me eat that food out of the garbage? Yes. Any thoughts? No. I think I like you." And it's just animated between Luigi and Daisy. It's like, you know what? That's really good.
Yeah.
I can't with this cast, but I mean, it's not terrible. It's really not like a terrible cast. Jack Black is Bowser, which I could see that working.
Oh, I could totally see that working.
Yeah.
Oh, I can see that working for sure. That's why I think that's a pretty strong casting choice there. I don't know what to make of this cast as an overall whole. Like, what does this mean? This movie's going to be wild, you guys.
I love Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong. I'm not going to lie.
Yep.
Like, I've seen all the videos of people like just superimposing Seth's laugh over Donkey Kong, which I think is great. But I just imagine Donkey Kong as like a huge lazy stoner when I think of Seth Rogen. And
I mean, it kind of fits.
I'd be okay with
sleeps through
that.
the banana horde getting taken and all that. Keegan-Michael Key is Toad. That's
what I can't wait to see.
That one's wild
How
for me.
Is that going to work? I can't wait. He's obviously an amazing talent.
Or the Toads are totally going to be the minions for this one, right?
Yeah.
They are totally the minions.
Probably. I mean, say what you will. I do think that some of the casting choices are disappointing. I wish that Charles Martinet would have had the opportunity to voice Mario in the movie because that, he's been so loyal to the role for so long. But I also get that Mario's voice sounds really good in short bursts.
Yeah. I think his Wario is better in longer bursts, and I think Wario is who we're going to get, who he's going to cameo as.
And I'm starting to think that maybe what we have all been assuming about Mario sounding like the Mario we all know and love might not be what ends up happening here, especially with Chris Pratt's casting. I think we're going to get just a regular, just Mario movie. Like, I don't think it's going to be like the
point I was hoping to make before everything went to shit was, I am, as trepidatious as I am about like some of the casting choices, I am excited that these are all really recognizable people, that these are, this talent that Nintendo has recruited doesn't come cheap. And it means to me that they're putting a lot of care into this movie, that they really, whatever their vision is, they really want to make it the best they can possibly make it. And you know what? I'm cautiously optimistic. I think it'll be a fun movie.
We desperately needed a trailer. They needed to put a trailer with this whole thing.
The biggest misstep was revealing Chris Pratt as Mario without letting us see or hear him.
Agreed.
Because I think that would have given some much needed context to the announcement. Because without it just seems like a really tone deaf choice, especially when you just kind of throw Martinet at the end and you're like, yeah, he's in there too somehow. Like,
yeah. And like, unfortunately, the other kind of thing about this is that, Chris Pratt has been associated with problematic views in the past, in terms of being associated. Apparently his church could be anti-LGBTQ+. We don't know for sure, but he has been associated with some weird views, not so great views. And that kind of really hurts it for me. I mean, it's just a shame,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. And I think that Chris Pratt should probably clear the air on that. Not something I think I'd be talking about on this show under normal circumstances, but I mean, it seems like it should be easy to be like, hey, I support gay people and so does my church. That should not be a hard thing for you to say if it's the truth.
Exactly.
The silence makes me wonder that, maybe it isn't the truth. Weird. Churches have almost, it's almost like churches have a reputation for this type of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. The Mario movie looks interesting. They should have dropped a trailer. I think that would have helped people feel like this is going in the right direction. Right now, it just feels like they announced it way too early. It's the punchline of a joke at this point, but I'm still going to watch it. I'm definitely going to watch it.
I mean, it's in a good spot this Christmas of next year.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
that's a good release date.
They're positioning it for, yeah.
Absolutely. I feel like that is just a weird thing to kind of drop in the middle of the direct. It's cool that they updated us, though. Another weird update followed that. And again, Nintendo's Winter 2021 Direct gave us another look at Splatoon 3, which is a game that I was 1,000% sure wouldn't be here based on what Nintendo themselves said.
Nintendo likes to,
Yeah.
eke it by, that sort of thing.
Yeah. And I don't hate them for it. I'm excited for Splatoon 3.
It has some wild additions.
Yeah. I liked the we got to see a crab mech, which seemed really interesting. They also, inadvertently showed off that the arenas for Turf War seem to have a lot more verticality to them, which is something that they kind of showed in the initial reveal trailer as well.
Checker pointed out that one of those the prominent stage they are showing off was also from the original Splatoon that did not return for Splatoon 2. So I don't want to say the verticality thing yet because I think it's mostly from that. I think they only showed off like 2 stages during this, but yeah, Museum d'Alfonso. So that's cool that we might be getting some stages back that weren't in Splatoon 2.
Yeah. Right. The one thing I found interesting is that the art that they showed at the end of the trailer, which apparently Splatoon 3 is dubbed Return of the Mammalians, which I think will be interesting.
The story mode,
yeah. But they showed Callie and Marie, but Marina and Pearl were not shown in the art at all.
Yeah, that was interesting.
I wonder what's going on there, but I feel like this was definitely more of a trailer for just like hardcore Splatoon fans than to really try to sell people that might be on the fence on the game, because it is just it doesn't show you a whole lot about the game.
No, the trailer itself was interesting. It expanded on the lore a little bit, but you had to be aware of what the lore of the previous 2 games is to really pick up on any of those cues. What I found strange about the trailer, aside from its very long length, is that at the conclusion, it still ended with just a simple 2022. That whole build-up felt as though they were going to conclude with an actual release window outside of just the general year date that we already got back in February. It kind of felt out of place, and maybe it's just the trailer was there because this is Nintendo's basically the Tokyo Game Show Direct, and they don't have a presence at Tokyo Game Show, so they wanted to communicate to the Japanese base of Splatoon 3 is coming. We want you to get excited about the promise that the title is going to bring. Here's a hint at some of the new features, some of the returning maps. It just felt as though they could have ended on that high note with May 2022 or June 2022 and really got the fan base excited and clinging onto something. Instead, it just felt like a lot of the other Nintendo announcements. Here's a promise of things to come, but we're not committing to a release window just yet. You have to wait until next time, and we'll give you more information. And that's something that we've seen Sony and Microsoft do a lot, and those companies are criticized for that practice. And Nintendo should be held to that same standard of, if you're going to continue to show these games and not give us an exact release window, why do you continue to do it? Like Splatoon 3 always felt as though they showed the game probably 6 to 8 months too early.
Yep.
Like, why February when the game is coming out sometime in 2022? Had they shown it for the first time now, I think I would have understood why they just slapped that vague window at the end. But right now, we can't even operate under the idea that, is this coming out in spring? They didn't tell us. So I still think it's a summer 2022 release. It
feels like summer to me, yeah.
But like, why not just wait a little longer and show it early 2022 and give us all that information? So ultimately, this trailer kind of felt like a filler, in my opinion. And I love the Splatoon franchise. This trailer just didn't do that much for me because it was a rapid fire trailer that showed you a lot, but also really didn't show you anything of substance that you could really just grasp onto and say, oh, did you see that? That looks awesome. It was just the typical chaotic Splatoon footage that showed glimmers of what is to come, but you are kind of left wondering what's new. What's going to be the new gimmick of this game that justified them making a sequel in the same console generation versus just making another expansion to Splatoon 2?
Yeah, there has to be something new, and we have no clue what that is yet. The setting certainly seems new and pretty interesting, but yeah, there's nothing mechanically that makes this that underlines why this has to be a sequel instead of DLC, like you said.
There's just like full body ink form. That was like the main thing that we saw that looked pretty cool.
And the mech. I mean, the thing is, a sequel will sell better than an expansion. Let's be honest, and that's the core thing there, is that there's definitely going to be enough here. I have no worries about that. It's just the way they're advertising it. They want to show off some stuff. They want to get people excited. They want to get, it's the confirmation that, hey, content is coming, but you got to wait for it. Nintendo does throughout a few games. Like they have some games that'll be out in like, hey, we just announced it and it's out in 4 months. Awesome. But then they announce other games like Splatoon, like Breath of the Wild, where, hey,
it did it again. It rebooted on me. I don't know.
We ended at a good point.
Brandon just run it now for the rest of it. You think?
That works for me.
Just since your modem.
It looks like we're up again. We're back.
Oh, are we back?
We are back. Yes.
Oh. All right.
Things have changed in here. All right, guys. I think we're going to end the show here because Jesus Christ, the internet for some reason is telling me that the show needs to end.
What do we want to
we haven't talked about Bayonetta, so
yeah. So let's try to get to Bayo 3 real quick and talk about that. So, I was on record as predicting this somehow. I had mentioned that I thought Bayo 3 had a good chance, based mostly on that VGC article in which Kamiya mentioned that it was ready to show and it was up to Nintendo when to show it. Nintendo announcing a direct within a week of that coming out, that statement being made just seemed like too coincidental. But that was really all that I based that off of. And I'm glad that I was right and that Nintendo seemed not to respect their own statement about what they would show at the direct way less than I expected them to.
I never really do.
Yeah. So it was definitely an interesting setup. I saw the trailer. It was very clearly in Tokyo. So I thought initially we were getting like another Shin Megami Tensei 5 trailer or something, just because you could see the 101 building in the back. And I think that's in Shibuya, right? And it was just, I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then suddenly, as I started to see the monsters, I was like, those aren't Shin Megami Tensei monster designs. Those are definitely... I couldn't place them because I'm not a huge Bayonetta fan, but once she showed up on screen, I was so excited. I think Nintendo did this one right. I mean, obviously, I would not announce a game in 2017 and then show it off in late 2021. But the fact that after all that time, we didn't just get like a cinematic trailer. We got actual gameplay showing the game in motion in a regular gameplay environment. I think that was really important to show fans after such an incredibly long silence on the game. And it looks great. It looks really, really great.
We got kaiju battles, basically.
Yeah. I mean, I still can't get over the fact that Bayonetta makes these monsters out of hair. That's really gross. It's extremely off-putting. Which also, by the way, the fact that she has long hair now in a game where she summons things with hair makes at least it makes sense. But
she had long hair in 1 as well.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I just thought for Bayo 2, like her cutting her hair short, I'm like, aren't you technically like shortchanging yourself on weapons? But, yeah, I really liked it. I liked what I saw. I will be honest with you though, I'm probably not going to pick up Bayo 3. It's just I have Bayo 1 and 2 and they never grabbed me. And
I love Bayo 2.
I don't know, man. I wish I could love it, but I've also never been a fan of Devil May Cry. Like, the series is just not my thing. And so I'm super hyped. I think as far as games of that genre go, it looks really stupendous. I hope that it plays as well as it looks, or plays as good as it looks. But yeah, I mean, I was excited to see it, but that, in the back of my mind, I was just like, all right, Metroid Prime 4, now it's your turn. And then I started thinking like, oh wait, they rebooted it 2 years in. Oh God, we might be 2 years away from even seeing Metroid Prime 4.
Yeah. Nate, how are you feeling about Bayo 3? Are you on the Bayo 3 hype train?
I am on the Bayo 3 hype train. I loved what I saw from the gameplay. The visuals look stunning. A nice upgrade from Bayonetta 2. The only complaint I would have with the presentation of Bayonetta 3 is I don't know if what they showed was enough of an evolution over Bayonetta 2 to warrant a 4-year gap between announcement and gameplay demonstration.
Sure.
It looked like it was more of the same, which is fine. Bayonetta has refined this genre to almost near perfection. I still kind of wonder like about the new gimmick of controlling the demons directly because we didn't get an explanation. We only saw the practice in motion, but we don't really understand the full mechanics of how it will work. But the scope of the city and the environments that were on display look like a nice upgrade over what we have seen in the previous 2 Bayonetta games. With you could see the demon getting smacked into a building and there actually being some destructible environment collision taking place. And that's a nice upgrade over the otherwise static environments that we saw in the previous 2 Bayonettas, because those games were more of a corridor. You might break a lamppost here or there. So it kind of looked like an open world type setup, but we didn't get a clear indication of that because the gameplay that was shown really focused strictly just on the combat, not so much the exploration. But at the start of the trailer, I was faked out. I thought it was going to be Astral Chain 2 for a second. And if that was going to be the case,
dog.
We saw the dog. I was like, fans are going to get pissed if Platinum Games announces Astral Chain 2 before we see Bayonetta 3 again. And then as soon as the dog's face really came in the screen, you saw the witch time take effect. And you could hear the clock tick. I was like, okay. But then the trailer ends with the 2022 release date, and you see it slashed in half. For a second, I thought it was going to come up like December 2021.
I wondered about that as well.
Yeah, I was like, oh, they did a quick fake out. But then you see that silhouette of a male character holding a blade. And my first thought was, is this a callback to Scalebound? Is Platinum kind of referencing their catalog of software?
Right.
And I'm sure it has no relation to Scalebound whatsoever, but it was interesting to see them introduce this new character who does bear a striking resemblance to the Scalebound lead, which never came to market.
So the thing I've seen put forth from fan theories is it very much appeared that Bayonetta died in the original reveal trailer. She was there's the first time we've really seen her taking tons of damage and just not being in great shape. And it seems like this Bayonetta is younger than others that we're seeing here, which has caused some people to wonder if, or it's something different about this one that it doesn't have the same voice. She doesn't have the same voice and all that stuff. So they're wondering if this character with the sword is actually Jean, who's hopping across dimensions, right, trying to save her, find a way to save Bayonetta. So there might be even more time travel shenanigans in Bayonetta. It's just a thing that they do.
Is Bayonetta going full on multiverse now, just like every other TV and movie show?
Why not?
Right.
It does look like apocalyptic punk Jean in a way, if you look at it that way.
Yeah. I kind of fall on the Steve's side of the line here. I appreciate Bayonetta, but I'm not like a hardcore Bayonetta fan. I played the first game. I liked it. Still need to get around to the second. I think it looks like more Bayonetta, which I think is a great thing for fans, but I'm just not like,
right.
I'm not super invested myself. But as I said earlier, this is my favorite design of Bayonetta so far, even if it might not be the Bayonetta we know and love. I really like her design in this. I just think she looks really cool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely think so. But yeah, so before we wrap up the show, overall thoughts on the Direct. I saw Derek's thoughts on Twitter because he's my friend. But
it was one of those things at the time. I enjoyed it, but then I started thinking about what was announced and what was coming. I'm like, you know what? I really I ended up enjoying it more and more the more I thought about it. There's some really good stuff coming, I think.
Yeah, I am stuck between good vibes and great vibes, but I'll say what I said yesterday, and that Kirby pushes it into great vibes for me. But without Kirby, it would be a good vibe, significantly lower, I would say.
Yeah.
Shock, a game you were excited for makes it not as good. It's like, that's weird.
Yeah, I
That's
know. I mean,
weird.
exactly. But Kirby was definitely the linchpin for me, and there are other stuff I was excited about. But yeah, I would say great vibes with Kirby.
Yeah, I would say for me, it was a solid like a B plus or something. You know, it's definitely not going to be in my most exciting directs, you know, but there was a lot of good stuff in there. I think that Nintendo was uncharacteristically leaning towards things that were going to happen in the future versus things that are kind of more immediate in nature. Especially
A
when
lot
they
of
come
games
out
in
and say-
October. I'm kind of
Yeah.
glad it's in 2022 because there's a lot.
That's true. That's true. There is a lot coming up. I'm overall, I was pretty excited. 3D Kirby looks way better than I could have hoped for. Bayonetta 3 looks good, even though I probably won't play it. But overall, it was a solid direct. I liked it. I would probably give it probably a good vibes, honestly, if I were rating it like on our review scale, just because I feel like it's, well, I feel like it's good, not great. It's
Sure.
probably the easiest way to put it.
Great vibes. Just to have it out there. What about you, Nate?
I'd come in with a letter grade. I think I would come in at a B minus. I think the highs were high with the 3D Kirby, Bayonetta 3, but the lows with the pacing and the announcements to come just felt very uncharacteristic of a Nintendo Direct. And we still just kind of got in that limbo of, here's a game announcement, 2022. Like, okay, so we're going to see this again. And it was probably the Direct Nintendo needed at the time. Like Nintendo Switch Online with N64, Sega Genesis was definitely one of the high notes. It was an okay Direct. There was nothing really that I walked away from outside of like Kirby and Bayonetta 3 that was overly hyped about that I cannot wait to really like sink my teeth into. The updates on already announced titles were welcome. You know, release dates on things like Triangle Strategy over there. But it just didn't have that whoa moment. Like Bayonetta 3 had been announced 4 years ago. It's great we finally saw it again. The 3D Kirby was kind of that title that the Kirby team has alluded that they were going to do something revolutionary with the franchise, and they're doing a big new project with Kirby. So it was just a matter of when. It's great to see it. It looks ambitious. Can't wait to play it next year. It just didn't have that surprise moment that we typically get from a Direct. Maybe had it ended on something like, just as an example, like Xenoblade Chronicles 3, it may have elevated it a little further.
Sure.
But I think it was a safe Direct. It's what Nintendo needed in the time. So I would say it was, a B minus. I'm not sure what that correlates to your vibes.
Probably good vibes
Scale.
in that
Okay.
case.
Yeah, good vibes.
Yeah.
It is. I've seen people mention it. It is a little strange that we did not see it, but no Advance Wars was shown.
Yeah, that is kind of weird.
Right. No Advance Wars. By the way, before we go to the outro, we do owe Jaden Buck an answer on who would play Yoshi in the Mario movie.
Oh, you're right.
We did
Danny
forget
DeVito.
Oh my god. I'm going to subvert expectations here and say Yoshi is CG, and he is played by a really talented voice actor who's good at making animal noises like Jim Cummings or Frank Welker. That's my answer.
That was like such a professional answer, Ash.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like they would just do give it like, here's your throwback, have the game sounds,
There you go.
and just Yoshi.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, I like that. Yeah.
So
How about you, Nate? Do you have a nomination for?
I have no idea. John
Great.
Cartwright.
There
bring
we go.
back the voice actor from the Mario World Super Show.
Nice. All right. Before we leave, I am going to shotgun out the rest of our super chats because I don't want y'all to feel like we left you hanging there. We're way back on them now. Jared Helder with a Canadian $2 super chat said, "I was hoping for a 3D Donkey Kong, but Kirby." Yeah, Kirby I think
Hell
was
yeah.
honestly the better choice there. Fangs the Wolf with a $5 super chat says, "Hi Nate, have you heard anything about the rumored Epic Mickey remaster / port as of late? I am starting to suspect the project might have been shelved."
I have no information to share on that project.
All
Fair
right.
enough.
Industry outsider, Nate. I'm just kidding. Hunter J with a $5 super chat says, Also, real fast again, indie game dev. You guys have a Twitter DM or email I could reach out to you to talk about my indie game, full stop. Yeah, twitter.com/GVG official. You can find it, GVG official. You can find us there. Yeah. Shoot us a DM. Any one of us will see it and reply to you. DMs are open. Sir Stupefy, with a $5 super chat says, I find it hilarious that we are getting an officially licensed Sega Genesis controller from Nintendo. Show this news to someone from the 90s. Well, that's me. And yeah, that's definitely weird.
Yeah.
And I'm still convinced that it's actually not being manufactured by Nintendo. I would be surprised if Retrobit weren't the ones making that. But still, it is technically an official Nintendo product with Sega branding on it.
Yeah.
Vedran Hotik with a $5 super chat says, I just hope N64 and Genesis aren't a drip feed like SNES and NES. Yeah, same.
They will be.
That is why, they will be.
They will.
And we will still pay for them.
If it isn't a drip feed, they'll get through that N64 lineup very quickly.
This week, we're releasing 20% of the N64's lineup.
Yeah.
It's 5 games. All right. Klaxon with a $4.99 super chat. Triangle Strategy is a tri-active role-playing game. Enjoy the angular motion battle overdrive system or Ambos in a hollow actualized world.
That sounds like some shit Square Enix would actually say, too.
Yeah, with a straight face.
Yep.
Becca's Live with a $4.99 super chat says, hey, Derek, tell Bell-Aim I've been playing Aces ever since we played, and now I'm almost done with the story mode. Thank you for all you guys do, and hi, Nate.
Thank you.
Well,
hello.
Hello.
I know she had a lot of fun.
John Salter with a $5 super chat. I was going to ask Steve if Phantasy Star 4 was a good game. Looks like I got my answer. Yes, it is a very good game. Let's see. Glaxter with a €2 super chat says, give us the canceled Fire Emblem. Of course it scrolled. Where did you go? I'm so sorry. Give us a canceled Fire Emblem 64 Nintendo. I would love to see them do that. If they reach into the archives of shit for the N64 that we never saw, like they have with Super Nintendo, that would be reason enough for me to get the subscription, which I will anyway. You already know that, Nintendo. Calamity 513, Geno versus Mighty. You choose. I know both. I'm going to say Mighty because I like Sonic. But
nice. I'm going to say Geno just because I feel like there's not a whole lot. Like, Mighty isn't that powerful. I don't really see Mighty as a super strong
Mighty's whole thing is Mighty's whole thing is that he is strong.
Well, I mean, he has defense, right? But it's weird. Geno's a glass cannon, but Mighty has defense, so it's just kind of their opposites in a way.
I don't watch a lot of football, but every time I've seen like the best offense in the league against the best defense in the league, best defense always wins. So Mighty.
Geno World does 9999, ignores defense. I'm going Geno.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's see. Shadow the Pico with a $5 super chat. If they did the Star Fox 2 thing and finished the canceled N64 version of Star Fox Adventures, aka Dinosaur Planet, I'd pay full price for NSO. Yep.
That would be cool.
Be cool, not going to happen.
Yeah, definitely not. Grantles with a $4.99 super chat says, I'm glad that Bowser is voiced by famous gaming YouTuber Jablinski Games. Which, and infinitely more successful than any of us, unfortunately.
Well, of
All
course.
right. With that, we've reached the end of today's episode.
There are a few more.
Oh,
there are a few more. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Chat disconnected. So yeah.
Oh my God.
Screwed me. Go ahead, Ash. I'm sorry.
All right. No worries. $5 from Sir Stupefy saying Charles Martinet equals Mark Hamill's Joker, while Chris Pratt equals Heath Ledger's Joker. I'm not quite sure. I get the.
That's kind of praise, I guess. Man, we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah.
Different takes that people like both equally, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Thank you, Sir Stupefy. Next is Jaden Buck with $5 saying Foet refresh. Also didn't get an answer to tonight's crazy question yet. Well, now you have. I'm sorry to say I don't. I'm guessing that has to do with when the stream died one of the times. So I apologize. I don't get the reference. But we did answer your crazy question. Thank you, Jaden Buck. And finally, $4.99 from Purity Chalice saying Nate's sexy voice and Steve's swab haircut keep crashing the stream.
Oh, wow. Yeah. To be fair, I mean, we got 2 of the 3 handsome boys, charter members on the show tonight. It makes sense.
Nate, can I just say, I fucking love your laugh, man. It's so wholesome, but there's also a vaguely villainous element to it. And it's so genuine. Like, you're having a good belly laugh, but it's also a tinge of villainy. I love it.
Well, I think that's a compliment.
Maybe.
It is totally. I love your laugh, man. It's a great laugh. Totally a compliment.
All right, closing
Yes.
things out. Toon J with Toon J723 with a $2 super chat says Nancy Cartwright as Yoshi.
right.
And Hunter J with a $2 super chat says offense versus best defense. Have you seen the Detroit Lions?
Nope. I told you I'm not a football guy, but it's just all the
Football.
Super Bowls I've
Yes.
seen. It's always seemed that.
I mean,
So
the Detroit Lions, well, prior to this year, would beat themselves in football, especially with Matt Stafford at QB. He throws the ball 60 times and still would throw for 700 yards, 9 touchdowns, would still somehow blow the game. But
and he still makes more money than all of us.
he,
That's for damn
I
sure.
can't believe they never won a Super Bowl when they had Megatron on the team. Damn shame.
Nice. All right. Before we sign off, Nate, I'm sure most of our audience knows where, but where can we find you online, man?
They can find me on YouTube at Nate the Hate. You can also find me on Twitter at Nate the Hate, followed by the number 2. Or you can follow my other Twitter account, which is Direct Feed Games. And we typically have a new podcast episode available each week where myself and my co-host, Modern Vintage Gamer, discuss the latest topics in the industry. And it's usually a good time. We like to delve deep, get some inside knowledge and industry knowledge delivered. As many people know, MVG is a developer over at Night Dive Games. One of his recent projects was actually Quake, which is available on all platforms right now. So we have nice educational and mature conversations about the industry and all gaming topics. And right now we have a Nintendo Direct reaction video up on the channel.
Very, very cool. I'll need to check that out. I'm a huge fan of MBG. I love the content he creates, and man, I need to listen to more podcasts. I feel like I'm terrible about keeping up with podcasts. But Nate, thank you so much for coming on, man. It's been a pleasure talking to you. This episode is twice as long as most. Amazing how we talked about a 40-minute direct for 2 hours, but
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm incredibly grateful for you coming on. I really appreciate it. You're welcome to come back any old time you want. But for now, we do have to
Absolutely.
say goodbye. We have to give a thank you to our patrons for helping to make this show happen and for sitting here through all this. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us tonight. A huge thank you goes out to our patrons at the producer tier for helping to make this show happen. We could not be on the way we are without you guys. Your support means the world to us. It quite literally helps keep the lights on. And beyond that, we have to give a huge shout out to our patrons at the executive producer tier and above. And those fine folks include Jared Edinger, Brandon Bovia, Rob Arman-X, Itiono Ben, Dan and Twistle, Dennis J, Z Patty, Hyrule Hermit, Sky Blue Flames, Adam O'Sullivan, Octopuppet, Richard Herrera, Michael Phone, The D-Pad, Vesmio, Waffle King, Kitty Kongfax, Angel Martinez, Vedran Hotek, 112, John, Joshua Hunter, Evernight Studio, Benny Yao, Azran127, Pagrema, Kenrule09, Jake Pelka, Geller, Joseph Rutkin, Titus Malvolio, Geeky Griffin, Lucky Wonderfish, Kyle, Top Dog 23100, Young Ben Kenobi, Doug Shomix, Andrew Medeiros, Orem M, Sakuragi, Becca, Rocks the Cat, Fizzywig Hoyd, Critmonger, The Legend of Groose, Eddie B, Kayed, Kit Fisto, Kenneth Lee Stingle, West Egg, Deaneth, Kota, Michael McCaw, Matthew Wong, Goron Amber, Straight Lace, Justin Matthews, Hoobie, Too Much Spaghetti, Mega Conrad, Ascaron 809, Kane, Captain Finlandia, 60 Minutes and 60 Seconds, Christopher Masterson, Spicy Pandaughter, The Game Orb, Dano the Artist, Grantles, Ravelox, Synchrolord, Brainchild, My Mom, Hi Mom, Kotar Peck, Scuff196, Kane Woolley, Skull Kid Tiger, AJB Cool, Blizzica, Jason Uloa, Jaden Buck, Phantom Project, Cystic Warrior 29, Super Dank Awesome Unicorn Guy, Tariq, Nathan the Voice Actor, Chibi J, Bongo Lover, Mumbling Yeti, Cameron Sharp, Fangs, Dinner Sonic, Freyhem, Mason Riley, Keel, Santi the Person, Ditto M, Sci-Fi Lullabies, Brook by the Bay, Brandon Hesse, Dark Steel 01, Killamox, Super Game Dude 101, and finally, Stag Nasty. Woo! Thank y'all so much. Your support means the world to us. We couldn't do this without you. Remember, if you too want to become a patron, you can join us over at patreon.com/gvgaming, where you can join for as little as $1 a month. $5 a month gets you into our live audience tier, where you see chatting on the side of every episode. And there's a ton more options for you to check out, but just heading over there and taking a look helps us out a lot. If you like this video, please consider liking and subscribing. And remember, when we hit 75,000 subscribers, we will be giving away a free Nintendo Switch OLED right here on the channel. All you got to do is be subscribed, folks. It's free. So if you're new here, maybe try to win a Switch. I don't know. Sounds good to me. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching, hanging out with us, and hearing our thoughts on the Nintendo Direct. This has been one hell of an episode. But until next time, folks, we will be back on Monday for episode 139 of TNT at 4 p.m. Pacific. And we have our patron stream this weekend, an EP stream this weekend, I believe.
Tomorrow.
Yep.
Tomorrow. We'll be playing Quake. We just talked about it. We'll be playing Quake, and Super Bomberman are online.
Yep. So stay tuned for that. And until next time, folks, good night and good vibes. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.